This is the XNC Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, XNC Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox newscast. Hey, how you doing? It's yeah, thumbs up. It's so oh my gosh, Meg, it's so good to have you back.
Yes. Oh, yes. It's great to be back, Colteastwood. It's wonderful to be back here on XNC. I got to tell you, before I even say hello to everybody in the chat already, I got to tell you, I don't know how many I was just away and I couldn't make it back in time for the show, so I messaged you. What was it? Was it the day before? And I'm like, dude, I'm just not going to make it back in time. I got hundreds of messages all week going, Mag, are you okay? Mag, you all right? You coming back to the show, right? And everything. I'm like, I thought you guys hated me. I thought I'm the pony bot extraordinaire. So I figured, but apparently no. Apparently there's some people out there who like me. Noise Mofo already starting. He's like, is Mag gonna get off Goat Simulator and come join us? Listen, that's my kids. It's not me. When I reactivated Game Pass, okay. My wife no longer game shares with me, okay? So now my kids do because they got a Series S up in their room or my daughter's room. And so now that I'm back on Game Pass, they're game sharing with me. So now it's but here's the problem. Instead of playing on their file, on their profile, they're playing on mine. So that's another thing I'm getting. A lot of messages going, Mag, what the hell are you playing? I am fish? I am bread? Or whatever the hell that stupid name is.
A lot of Fortnite.
Yeah, and Fortnite and all this. I'm like, guys, that's not me. So it keeps showing up as me doing that. That's actually not me. So, but anyways, it's a pleasure to be back and rocking it with you in this awesome chat as always. So, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I got some new emojis for like the chat, and we got I put it up in there. We got the lasagna and Fallout, and then we got the hot fudge sundae, bro. Check them out.
What you added all? You added all kinds of stuff.
I'm gonna add just a couple, but I'm gonna add the lasagna and the hot fudge sundae to make people hungry.
Fantastic! I'm totally in, man. Totally in.
Yeah. So yeah,
Dr. Dinglenut, I almost have 400,000 gamer score without the kids. Okay, I don't need their 30 gamer score on I Am Bread. All right. Anyways,
Meg has more gamer score than I do. I'm at like closing in on 170, but Meg like we know that Meg, you put a game in and you do not stop until it's like.
I'm a completionist. I always have been. Although, you know, it's really funny. Speaking of which, Senua's Sacrifice. Was that the first one? I keep calling it Senua's Saga. Senua's Sacrifice. I still have that 900 of 1,000. And I swear, that's another funny thing. I get a lot of people saying, Meg, are you going to get that 1,000 in there and go back and play it? And I'm like, hey, I'll take care of it tonight. And I never do. I keep forgetting to go back to play it, right? So I already re-downloaded it, so I've got to do it because apparently I don't have to play through the entire bloody game just to get that one, whatever it is, like that the rock monolith thing, whatever.
You have to go load up the chapter or whatever, right, to do it.
Apparently you can just load up the chapter, unless I'm wrong. Chad, help me out here. And Yeah, I know that game is really stingy, Cozy Manatee, but man, you know, I really went for it. Doom, I got 700 plus achievements on Doom, and man, that was a tough grind. But anyways, what I was gonna say is that I was having some trouble with that. But anyways, doesn't matter. Let's get into the show.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the chat, like, what games are notoriously stingy for giving out trophies or achievements? I know there's probably some infamous ones that come to mind, but I was going through my stint of Elder Scrolls Online and had one achievement in like 30 hours of play. And I'm like, I understand this game's been going on for 10 years, but I mean, how long does it take to get more than one?
I got to tell you, in the years that I've been going for achievements, obviously since the 360 days.
Yeah.
Obviously I don't have as much time at least at that time, and definitely not now, as Randall Thor, who got the million, right? I don't have all that time to do all that stuff because especially in those days I was working a lot. So I was achievement hunting at 2 a.m. after work. You know what I mean? Because in those days I was in a restaurant. Yeah, well, dude, I'd work like 16 hours a day and then I'd start gaming, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, I was a younger man. Now, obviously, I'm much older. Not as old as Colteastwood, obviously, but I'm up there. But anyways,
So, what did he completely broke his mic? This is so perfect, guys. I decided I need to find a way to keep the live feed of my guest or my co-host in front of me at all times, and it's perfect now because I would be going, what's going on? Because I'm watching like the YouTube page most of the time, which is several minutes behind sometimes, so I can keep an eye on the chat. But I literally watch Mag completely break his mic. So we're glad to have him back, and I'll fill the dead air while he's gone. I mean, Dr. Dingle says worst mic in the industry. I think he has the Yeti, but I didn't even see what he did. I just saw it was like in 7 pieces. But welcome everybody to the show. I want to talk about. I know Mag probably hasn't played this, but I want to kind of start off the show and talk about XDefiant. I got to know, guys, did you get a chance to play this game? It was early access, or there's like an open demo or beta. My friends and I, Dante, Holly, Red Wolf, we were excited to play this new Call of Duty killer, and man, it's bad. Meg, did you see anything about XDefiant?
I did very briefly. By the way, I'm sorry that I disappeared for half a second mid-sentence.
What did you do?
I literally moved my arm like this because being Italian, I can't stop moving my bloody hands when I'm talking. I pulled the cord right out of my audio setup with my arm, right? And I'm sitting there going, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, why can't I hear anything? And then I had to, Anyways, yes, I did see something about it. But however, I did play it earlier when they had that first beta run or whatever the hell it was. I thought it was okay. And I'm like, all right, well, but it didn't really pull me in like a Call of Duty or anything. I'm just like, nah, I'm not interested. So not really my thing, but I understand you put some time in. So please talk to us about it.
Yeah. How did you get back to the keyboard? I wanted to say goodbye to Nerds and Other Legends. I'll do that later. I went to the emojis. I'm like, wait, where's the keyboard button? And I don't know. Here it is. Bye, Nerds and Other Legends. He says he's going to have to check the show on replay. What did you ask me? Like, what did I think of it?
Yeah.
It's cool looking
about it, and I saw that you put in more time than I did. So I wanted to know
what 2 hours or an hour and a half. It's really cool looking. There's levels from the Division. It's kind of a mix of Siege, Division, and Watch Dogs. So it has like actual the universe is there. So it actually has levels that you would tend to see in those universes, and then the characters like the what do you call the operators? The operators are like from Dead Sec, some are from Division, like, so that's cool, and the game's pretty nice looking. But there's something wrong with it, Mag, where the enemies, when you go to attack another enemy on online, they have 4 health bars above them, and I'm like trying to take down their health bar, and one bullet hit me in the earlobe, and I'm dead. And I thought I just sucked really bad, but Red Wolf and Dante and Holly were all like, why is it taking like a magazine and a half to drop an enemy, but they're getting like one stray bullet hits you in like one of your hairs and you're gone. So people in the chat were saying that the netcode is horrendous. I think that game is dead on arrival, and I want something like that to do well.
It would be, you know what? It would really be nice. And here's the thing, and we talked about this whether we're in discussion about consoles, like whether it's Sony or Sony and Xbox. Competition breeds excellence. Right. Yeah. And therefore, we see that. I understand, Battlefield's going to make a comeback in the next few years, whatever. We understand that. And that's fine. However, they really crapped the bed in the last one and really dropped off. So therefore, at that point, Call of Duty has had no competition. Zero. None. And then I can't help but feel, with a combination of not having competition and the way that Activision, the Activision suits up top, the way that they pander to the to the investors, obviously. That's how we get a Modern Warfare 3. You see what I mean? You get I enjoyed Modern Warfare 3 for what it was. Because I always like Call of Duty. I have fun with them, whatever. I love the online. The online's a lot of fun, great time. But the rest of it was half-baked garbage. Like, I thought the zombies was terrible. Like, it was basically all they did was take their war zone and add zombies to it, right?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I had fun with it for a bit, but
It was okay, but it wasn't great. So I think that something like XDefiant would have really made the Call of Duty devs go, holy crap, we got some competition here, boys and girls. Let's step it up. You know what I mean? And let's get a Call of Duty 4 out there. You know, like the real bangers from back in the day and whatever else. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, not the remake, the original. And that's where you get those games because you have competition. Because in those days, you remember also we had, which was fantastic, by the way, Medal of Honor. Remember Medal of Honor? How great that was?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, it was so good. Remember they had the remake or whatever, and then the Battlefield games were coming out as well, and you had Call of Duty, all fighting. Essentially, all fighting for first-person shooter dominance. And Halo was out there too, because Halo 3 was around that time. And so they had some major competition. Now they've got Stugats, okay? Halo Infinite, I loved it, but it didn't really make a mark. You've got Battlefield completely crapped the bed. You got XDefiant, where like you shoot a guy 18 times in the face and he's taking it like Deadpool. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the point?
Yeah, and the guns just didn't feel good at all. Like
they didn't feel good. No, they didn't feel good.
You did get a match or two in then.
No. I played about an hour. Like I got like some decent. I got some decent time in there, but it felt light. Does that make sense? It felt light, like kind of
slippery. Like the guns. Yeah, the guns felt like they didn't weigh anything. Like when you play Call of Duty, the guns have that punch, right? Yes. It looks like it. When I watched it, it looked like it was going to do that. Shout out. Thank you so much, Lotus Spree. They just sent 20 channel membership. So welcome. Hey, if you're there, if you just unlocked a channel membership, thanks to the kindness of Lotus Spree, give us the old lasagna or the hot fudge sundae emoji in the chat. Just spam that sucker.
I want to see him.
So,
by the way, Cozy Manatee's absolutely right. He said Medal of Honor and Killzone. There was another one there. So now you had all these great first-person shooters. Now you've got nothing, and now you've got Call of Duty releasing friggin' Cheech and Chong, and
I saw that today.
You know what I mean? And like walking velociraptors. Like, come on, man. Like, I know some people like that. And shout out to Wilmy Hood, because I saw Wilmy Hood. Of course, he bought the Cheech and Chong skins, right? Because I saw him showing that on Twitter. It was pretty funny. But anyways, the thing is, it's just like, I know it's just for a laugh and all that, but there's just no competition. And I was really hoping that XDefiant would have been that possibility, but they just didn't bring their A game, so to speak. And it's just not going to do anything. And God bless them for trying, but at the same time, let's focus on getting Splinter Cell out the door and forget about this XDefiant.
Yeah, I feel like Ubisoft's in kind of a rut right now. One of the news topics that we probably wouldn't end up talking about too much unless everyone's super interested, but I guess they're kind of shutting down Watch Dogs as a series. One was a disappointment. In my opinion, I think Watch Dogs was pretty disappointing from what people expected of it. And then Watch Dogs 2 was goofy as heck. I enjoyed it. And then Watch Dogs Legion's like, what are we doing here? So they're putting that one to bed. So Watch Dogs is done. So yeah, that's I don't know. Ubisoft's having a hard time. I thought XDefiant had promise. Skull and Bones, which is another Ubisoft game, right? I don't know. I think they're kind of in a rut. We're going to talk about the gaming rut as well today. Before I get into that, speaking of ruts, I wanted to ask your opinion since you're a content creator. What's going on with this TikTok ban, and is it actually going to go through? There's like a countersuit or something.
I don't know. You know what? The more I think about it, I see both sides of it, and I see what's going on. And I understand. I'm not going to get into too deep of a detail as to what's going on or what they're thinking, but a lot of it has to boil down to, I don't think that the American, not North American. I think the American corporations don't like. First of all, there is some merit, obviously, to the fact that, like, the Chinese government can clearly see what's going on. You know what I mean? They're watching what you're doing and everything else. Yeah, that's part of it. And people think, oh, that's stupid. I'm just dancing in my living room. Yeah, but you know what? Dancing in your living room, they can actually take like a clock on the wall. They could see reflections off of that clock because it's glass, and then they could see other things. They could see your ad. You know what I mean? They could find your address. They could find this. They could find actual places, not landscape, landmarks and things of that nature. They could find where you're from. They do all that stuff. These are all things that happen, and it's all part of like the technology that they work on and everything else. And of course, the intel. The Americans are doing it. You know what I mean? The Chinese are doing it. The Iranians are doing it. UK, they're doing it. They're doing it all over the world, and they find the simplest ways. You watch some of these espionage shows or movies or whatever else, and they're like, well, if you angle it over here, you could see the reflection off this piece of metal over
It's
here.
like
You
Watch Dogs for TikTok, right?
It's 100% what's going on. So I understand that part of it.
But why is that any different than people like on YouTube and Facebook and
sure, because they can access that too. Now,
Yeah,
the other
it's all
thing
the
is,
same.
I think that maybe a little bit as a bit of a scapegoat, because at the same time, I don't think Americans want too much competition taken away from their social media. Because you've got Google out there and Amazon and everything else and Apple and Microsoft, and I don't think and people are stealing away their thunder because you know who owns YouTube and everything else. Right?
Yeah.
They don't want that either. And that's why you see like competition. Maybe they're not as good, certainly, as YouTube. But you've got like your Rumble out there and your Kick and whatever else. And they're slow, like they're always trying to like be the next YouTube. They just don't have the infrastructure to do so. But at the same time, I also feel that maybe, the people that own YouTube, we know who they are squashing them around on purpose to keep them down because they want to make sure that YouTube remains the number one viewed.
No,
you know what I mean? Streaming service out there. Same thing with Netflix and everybody else. Netflix is still the king of the castle, And then of course you had look what Microsoft did to what the hell, Stadia. Like they choked Stadia out because they were worried about them because Stadia had a better cloud infrastructure than Microsoft. Fight me on that because I know I'm right. And they did.
Yeah.
And you know what the thing is? They were terrified of that. So what did Microsoft do? They choked them out of the cloud. They choked them out of the cloud gaming business, and that showed up in the FCC reports. Remember when they talked about it during the ABK deal?
Yeah, I mean,
so like,
I don't know if the infrastructure was better on Stadia. I have no idea who had the better infrastructure, but I know Stadia had better power. Like they had way more flexibility to give you better resolution and frame rates because you were relegated to an Xbox One at that time. And then now you're looking at an Xbox Series X split into 4 pieces, basically an Xbox Series S on the cloud.
And
so you get a better experience on the competitors for sure.
But Azure now Microsoft, and before anybody goes wild in the chat and starts losing their mind and throwing their popcorn up in the air, Microsoft now has the better servers. The Azure servers. They've been building the plants all over the world in different. You know what I mean? They've been building it up to what it is. Sony got in on it with Azure as well, and so you know what I mean. So it's all part of that. But so I feel like it's a whole bunch of different reasons. You can't just say that the Chinese spying is the only reason. That's silly because I think that a lot of it has to do with competition and money, and they just don't want to spread that wealth around because why give the piece of pie? Let's face it, American corporations specifically are very much like that. Why share the pie when you can just have the pie for yourself? You know what I mean? And so, and that's how it works. The richest companies in the world are all in the United States. Let's face it.
So to end that conversation, Mag, do you think the TikTok ban will go all the way through?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. I don't think so. I don't think it will. They keep saying it will. Oh, it's coming. It's coming. It's coming. And I'm like, no, it's not. They're just trying to sway public opinion. Public opinion does not sign checks, does not change policies. It doesn't do any of that. So it's in the end, it's just a lot of hot air. Kind of like me.
Yeah, kind of like our show, right? I would try and find like somebody who's better equipped to take care of like technology and social media and the things that we love in our current age. You got all these old people who are trying to make decisions. And then we look at the youth and we're like, are they any better than the old people? Maybe, hey, leave it up to the middle-aged guys like us to take care of the world. Hey, we're the only ones ever. And,
Pierre David Moreau, I saw your hidden message, but I agree with you. Sorry, he had a message that had some F words and stuff in it, and it got blocked. But I saw it because we're part of this channel. So yes, I saw it, and I agree with you 100%, buddy. Carry on, Colby.
I wanted to get that out of the way since I knew you did the TikTok stuff. But we got a pretty good show today. Glad to have you back. Glad to have you back, Mac. That's what I'll call you.
Whoa, wow.
Glad to have you back, Mag.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how you speak. Yeah. That's how you talk. And achievement unlocked. Before we get into the topics, I'm giving out 2 Fallout coins today. My moderators will keep an eye on picking winners for 2 Fallout coins. You see them in the overlay. And then 2 Hellblade coins. So we'll get those Fallout coins. I had a few that I was giving away. That will be the last of this run for now. And the 2 Hellblade coins, I'll be giving out a couple of Hellblade coins up to the launch. So I also want to remind, I got to keep an eye on the chat for Matthew Barrio and Sappho if they show up. They won last week and they have not gotten a hold of me. And so let me get started with that. We've got Meat Puppet, who waved hi. He's been a channel member. Biff Rinaldi, thank you so much for the $2 super. Says, my kid got me 1,000 out of 1,000 on Roblox and Xbox. No complaints.
No way. That's pretty crazy. Wow. I think I got like 700 or 800 on Roblox. Because when it came out, I'm like, let me just give this a shot. So I was farting around with it for a little bit, and I'm like, it was okay, but those ridiculous characters and the stupid arm and leg movements, I couldn't do it. Yeah,
I almost unplugged my mic.
See, like me, that's exactly what I. Thriller Ali, thank you for that update about the Azure cloud servers and all that. Sorry, he said something in the chat.
Did he correct something that we said, or?
No. Actually, he was actually just saying that they actually didn't use Azure clouds, Azure
PlayStation
cloud servers for Xbox. No, for Xbox specifically.
I thought they were using Azure for that.
That's what I thought. Too. Maybe, I don't know. Who the hell knows? Either way.
I don't know. I kind of stopped reporting on it when people stopped using cloud. It just kind of became a little bit irrelevant. We got Phase 23, Brooklyn, New York. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Here it is. I don't know why Xbox fans are making fun of the PS5 Pro, knowing that PlayStation will have the Power Crown for the next 2 years. And if Xbox was doing a Pro, they would have used the same CPU clocked higher. Absolutely. If Xbox had a mid-gen refresh, it would be an overclocked CPU, but this is an SoC. So you have the GPU and the CPU together. But unfortunately, PlayStation has to use the same CPU clock and some of the same frequencies, at least in the same range, so they can continue to have backward compatibility, or what would be a better word, current compatibility with games, which is something they have to think about. Also, Digital Foundry is reporting on this boost mode, which will automatically do great things. Like if a game has dynamic res, it'll probably run it at its intended target, whether that be 1440p or 4K or whatever. It will be able to do that. And then I still haven't seen Digital Foundry say much about doing anything transformative with frame rates. So I think what this thing will do is just make games look really, really nice. And as far as the Power Crown, Mag, the Power Crown is still on PC. And if a console can't do what I want, you always have another option. But I do wish Xbox was doing a mid-gen refresh. But as far as we know,
we don't even know when they're coming out with the next gen. That's the thing. I mean, right? So,
you and I think that the PS5 Pro comes out in 2024, and then 2 years later, Xbox has their fully next generation console that's fully built with modern architecture, and then they'll have that AI that'll help. It's all going to be about regeneration, which is a half step that the PS5 Pro is doing. It's using this PSSR, which is they're trying to bring in frame rate and resolution regeneration, which is going to be a big part of gaming moving forward. It's already a big part of PC. So all your frames and all your resolution are going to be fake. Enjoy.
So at the end of the day, the PS4 Pro came out in 2016. So it came out 4 years before the launch of the PS5. So if we were to presume then that it'll be the same cycle, and like I said, just a presumption, is that if it launches this year, then that would mean a PS6 will be coming out in 2028, which then in turn would have Microsoft 2 years in advance. I don't see them taking 2 years in advance. I don't think Sony would let it sit that long.
Do you think Sony cares? I don't think Sony cares about having a power crown of the Xbox. They've lost the power crown many times. They lost it with the 360, lost it with the One X.
But the 360 was the most competitive console to the PlayStation. It was
an old time,
in general, right? Yeah. So that was the most competitive time that Microsoft was, or any competitor was to them. Now, I don't consider.
Well, the Wii killed them both.
Well, I was literally about to say I don't consider Nintendo part of the competition because they just do their own thing. They're not launching the same games. You're not playing the same games as you are on those other consoles. You're not playing those. You know what I mean? You're not playing those new Call of Duties or this and that's whatever. Star Wars Outlaws and all that. Yeah, okay, you might play a dumbed down version like a year later or a year and a half later on the Switch, but it's still not direct competition to me. I don't think so.
I say that too. That's my.
It's going to be a very interesting couple of years. That's for damn sure. It'll be really, really interesting to see where it goes. But you're absolutely right. At the end of the day, people aren't buying, generally speaking, I would say outside the hardcore, people are not buying for power and performance. They really aren't.
I mean, the numbers say they aren't at all.
No,
hardly,
and that's what
no
I'm
one
saying.
is almost.
The majority of the people that we don't know about, we don't hear about, the people that live on my street, the people that, you know what I mean, that are in my kids' classes, you think they're all talking about this stuff? They have no idea what the hell we're talking about.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the parents don't either. They don't know anything that's going on. They're not buying for power. If they weren't buying for power, then the Switch wouldn't be the number one selling console, with 7-year-old tech. Right?
Yeah, and the next Nintendo Switch will have more multiplats, but some people are saying, "Oh, that's where true exclusives are." So that's where it's gonna matter. I think Nintendo's still gonna just do amazing.
They're just gonna do what Nintendo does.
Nintendo does what Nintendo does.
Yeah, Nintendo does what Nintendo does. That's gonna be the new quote. Absolutely.
Yeah. So. Well, let's talk about. We have to be careful, Mag. And I will warn, we will be super careful. But Meg and I really want to talk about the Fallout TV show in very broad strokes because I'm going to actually put up a poll and ask how many people have either watched. How do I do this? I'll ask.
I would imagine, and I'm not going to presume again. Oh my God, we have 666 people in the chat right now. That's it. The number of the beast. Yeah.
Iron Maiden. Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
The way YouTube works, I have to hit the refresh button. This is I have 1 like right now. I'm sure there's hit the like button if you guys are enjoying the show. So I'm going to ask the audience here in the chat, have you watched Fallout TV? And then the option will be yes, all of it. Sorry, I hate doing this.
No,
yes,
okay, do what you got to do.
Some of it. Because if you watched a couple episodes or 6 out of 8, it kind of matters about what we can kind of allude to and very generalize. And no, not at all. There is the poll. Vote for what you've done for the Fallout TV show. If you're Hargeet Chani, you've watched 0 of it because you stopped watching TV like 2 years ago. And I'm like, you kind of need to watch the Fallout show. And he's like, oh, I don't watch TV anymore. So there's the poll. Meg, you got early access to Fallout.
Yes.
What were your initial impressions before everyone was like, oh!
Well, it was interesting to watch it solo when nobody else was solo. Sorry, this is my Jabba the Hutt for you. Yeah. Watching it before everybody else did. I watched it back in March. I know some people, the executive producers, they had the screening back in February. Now, I want to tell you an interesting little story about that, is that the executives, and I think I told you about this, Colt, behind the scenes, the executives did not like the show.
What executives?
The executives that
there'll be no. We will not spoil. We will not talk about plot. We won't even really talk about
No.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
No, I'm talking about real life. I'm not in the show.
I'm not. No, I'm saying that to them, not to you, Mag.
Yeah. So don't attack me, guys. I'm just telling you a story. But anyways, this is the
go back.
Producers,
let's hear it.
The executive, and I think I messaged this back to you in like late March, and a couple of weeks before it came out. And not all, but some of the executive producers, especially the ones that were pushing a little more weight, they didn't like it. And they said that it had potential, but they said they weren't really sure. So they were very, very insecure about its success. And so what they dropped it. Now, when they announced that they were dropping it all in one day, that wasn't by accident, from what I've heard. I've heard that they actually dropped it all in one day because they actually didn't have much faith in it, and they wanted to see how well it was going to do. Hence the fact. I mean, the
previews were doing really well at that time.
Yes, they were.
And I'm like, if the previews doing well, why would they move the show a day earlier? Were there spoilers they thought were going to get out to people? I never understood why they did that.
I actually don't. I don't know anything about that. I don't know about that. I'm just telling you from what I heard back in late February, early March. Is that they weren't 100% sure how the show was going to go. So what they ended up doing is, I know that people were reporting day 1, oh, season 2 is already there. And I kept telling everybody, I'm like, oh my God, season 2 is not, they did not renew it. And then they just renewed it a few days ago. I think it was 3 days ago or 4 days ago, officially. But they had not done it since because they were literally waiting for the numbers. Because they really, even though the gaming community, a lot of the gaming community who watched the show were actually really hyped about it, and they really enjoyed it, and the news was spreading. And then, of course, the critical, the critical reviews came in or whatever else, and they were doing well. So they're like, all right, that's great. But they needed the numbers. So now that the numbers came in, they're like, okay, well, we're going to greenlight a season 2. However, it's still a wait and see for season 3. What they're going to do is going to see if the numbers grow from season 1 to season 2. If it remains the same, season 3 is in limbo. I know that sounds stupid because they haven't even put pen to paper for season 2. They have an outline. Jonathan Nolan has the outline wrritten, but it's still
that's not crazy. I mean,
no, it's not crazy. It's just like what's happening at Warner Brothers. Like, for example, another one I was talking about it with Everborn Saga and a couple of other people were talking about the Batman. The man. And yeah, the people that I know at Warner Brothers, I was talking to them, this is like last year, and saying that the Batman did not do the numbers that they expected it to do. They expected it to hit 900 million and above, right? So it hit, 600 and something, whatever. That's not big enough for a Batman movie. So what they ended up
Square
saying
Enix was involved there. It's not good enough.
Well, not good enough, exactly. So what ended up happening is they got the Penguin show off the ground, and the Penguin show looks fantastic, by the way. So with Colin Farrell playing the Penguin.
Oh, okay,
and
all right.
So what the thing is, though,
not Danny
and
DeVito.
they keep, and I told everybody, I'm like, guys, the Batman 2 is not coming. It's not coming now. It's not coming in next year. You read all these stupid articles for people who don't know what they're talking about. The Batman 2, the synopsis, what they're going to be doing, who's the next villain. And I'm like, nobody, because it ain't happening right now. And so what they said is it all hinges off the success of the Penguin show. So now they're holding back the Batman 2 to see how the Penguin show does. And you know how I know that I'm absolutely right?
Wait. You're talking about the Batman movie is hanging on the edge of a knife because of the Penguin show?
That's correct. So, and I talk to the people who worked on this stuff.
DeVito will be right.
Yeah, I know, eh? Yeah, I played this city like a harp from hell. So anyways, the thing is that now what ends up happening, what comes up in the news just a week ago? Just to prove the point. The Batman delayed till minimum 2027.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they're going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing it until they basically get rid of it because James Gunn's thing is going to take over. So anyways, that's what was happening with Fallout. Then the show released. And then they're like, holy crap, the people are coming in to watch this thing. It's got buzz, right?
It's got high score, like
yes.
92 on Rotten Tomatoes or something, like when it settled.
They don't care about that.
They don't care
about that.
But the viewership on Prime was huge.
The viewership was huge.
So you had both. And you had, the ratings, like the way that almost every journalist and reviewer was talking about the game,
right?
Cements the quality. And then the people, we may say we don't care about reviews, but sometimes reviews get people to go buy a game or watch something, right?
Absolutely. So, but I'm telling you, there was also somebody else from Netflix that caught wind of their conversation when they were talking about, for example, Masters of the Universe, the one that Kevin Smith did. And it was like the ratings, like the critical review was horrible. Oh man, this sucks. This show's terrible, this and that, whatever. And it was getting a lot of mid reviews. And one of the executives from, it was. And Mark Hamill plays Skeletor and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
Anyways, the point is that what's funny about that is that one of the top executives at Netflix was talking to Kevin Smith about it, and he says, I don't care what the critical reviews would be a 1 out of 10. Is it bringing in people? And it did. And that's why they greenlit a season 2. So even if it's sitting at like a 4 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10 or whatever on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever the hell it is, or it's certified fresh or certified rotten, as long as the numbers are coming in, they don't care. Yeah. And the numbers came in, and that justified a season 2. So now that Fallout is a success, the fallout from Fallout is a success, and the people are enjoying it, they greenlit a season 2, and now they're going to be moving forward with that. However, they're still cautious about a season 3 because they want to see if You know what I mean? They want to see if the momentum is going to continue. So as for the show, now that you got a backstory about that, for the show itself, I know. As for the show, I enjoyed it the first time.
Okay.
The second time, I posted something about this on Twitter. The second time, I think I was just bored the second time because I've already seen it. I'd already seen it. So I watched it a second time so you and I could discuss it. Obviously, we're not going to discuss details. The second time, I started finding holes, and I think it was just because I was sitting there bored. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, well, I already know what's going to happen. I've already seen this. I've already, I enjoyed this scene. I enjoyed that. But then I started getting a little bit nitpicky. And I was just like, it's not as, it's like a 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10 for me.
No,
and that's fine. That's fine. That's where I sit on it because there's a lot of stuff. There's some inconsistencies in there and some not great writing in some scenes or whatever else. But for the most part, I thought it was very serviceable. Now, I think that we are very spoiled as gamers these days. I think we've had 3 hot shows. Actually, you can include 4 if you want to include that Netflix anime one about, what is it? Is it League of Legends? Arcane,
and the Cyberpunk one. Yeah.
The Cyberpunk, Arcane. You had Twisted Metal, which, by the way, if you haven't watched Twisted Metal, it's criminal that you haven't.
I heard it's good.
Fantastic show. Anthony Mackie is wonderful in that show. And Thomas Hayden Church as the one of the bad guys, absolutely fantastic. And of course, Sweet Tooth. Twisted Metal, great show. Arcane, great show. Cyberpunk, incredible show. Last of Us, incredible show. Yeah. And now you've got Fallout. Holy crap, guys. Can we as gamers stop bitching for one day and just say, man, are we ever lucky? We got 5 great shows. Come on, man.
Yeah, well, my take on, I would score Fallout really high. There's a couple of things that kind of seem like out of character for me, but the world, just the way that the world like Todd Howard goes,
the music.
No, don't make your own. No, you don't get to make your own Fallout. This is what it looks like. Here's what the video game looks like. This is what the world looks. This is how Power Armor looks. This is what a Fusion Core looks like. No, you don't get to have your own take on it, which I felt like they did in Halo in some ways. So I'm like, it was just
now. Hold on a second. I totally forgot about Halo, which I watched both seasons of Halo, and I did talk about that on socials as well. I really enjoyed Halo as well. Even season 1. A lot of people were like, oh, season 1's the worst, but season 2's better. I actually enjoyed both seasons, and I found that some of the intrigue of season 1 was really, really interesting and fun. I enjoyed it. I like the mystery, like the MacGuffin with the whatever the hell it was, the pieces that would take you over. I don't want to spoil it. I'm trying not to spoil it. So
I've
I don't
only
know
watched
what to call
one
it.
episode of Halo, so.
Oh, dude, you got to watch both seasons, man. I watched both seasons in 1 week, and I really enjoyed it. So I didn't game that week at all. Instead of gaming, I just sat down and watched Halo, and I loved it. And even my wife sat down and watched it, and she enjoyed it too. The difference with Halo is it's hard to go by the source material when you have a guy, with a helmet on the entire time. You know what I mean? Like, does that make any sense? When you've got the protagonist wearing a helmet, and in the game, he's just like, all right, okay, Cortana, where are you? I'm jumping from the ship. Like, that's not, you know what I mean? Like, that's not a lot of stuff.
Yeah, people have their connection to Master Chief through the books, and I don't read video game books. And
right.
I mean, I understand that. And I don't typically watch video game TV shows either, but this one I did. And I can only talk about TV shows for so long, but
right.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the poll here, and half of the people have watched some. I mean, 21% have watched some of it. 25%, a quarter of the people have not watched it at all.
Wow, guys, you got to get on it.
Yeah,
come on, Xbox fans, you really need to watch that show. I thought that the world building was excellent. My issues were not with the story, particularly. I know some people absolutely shredded the story and saying, there's too many inconsistencies. I'm very much able to overlook that stuff as long as I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I'm having a good time and I'm enjoying where the story's going, I don't care if, well, in one scene, the guy was wearing a bow tie, and the next scene he wasn't, so therefore it sucked. I don't care about that stuff.
If you can like Prison Break, and with all of its wild inconsistencies and
sure, and I love the show.
Stuff. Yeah,
right. And so I thought that Fallout was fantastic, and I enjoyed it. But again, I didn't give it a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I don't think it was the greatest thing that I've ever seen. But the world building was great. The characters were great for the most part. I thought there were some weaker characters. I thought Maximus was bizarre. I think and I mean bizarre in terms of the choices of acting. I can't speak about it because some people haven't seen it. I just thought that some of his choices artistically were very strange. Yeah. Almost like he was autistic or something at something. Not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Some of all of the characters fit their role perfectly. And I felt like sometimes you're wondering, let's just pretend we don't know who we're talking about, but you could just pick one character out of the show and go, maybe they could have got somebody different to play that character. That's all I'll say. We got Pierre-David Moreau, who I still liked it a lot. I would give it a 9, Mag, because
hey, cool, man.
I'm a big Fallout fan, and when I played, when I watched it, I'm like, it's done everything that it should do as far as how it looks and feels, and the tone, and the juxtaposition of very gory with whimsical, fun music. So definitely, guys, you got to watch it.
And a little bit of comedy in there. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Yeah. Pierre-David Moreau with the channel member chat says, hi, guys. Respect. Happy to be here. Enjoy Monday night with all of you. Colt, appreciate you. Mag, you know I love you. Bromance. He's got the you got the fist there. Jax82. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Has Satya lost confidence in the Xbox brand, or is he still invested? I know he has Phil look over things or change, or am I crazy here? I don't know. That's a whole can of worms. Guys, I mean, you just got to have to understand that some of the stuff that we felt the friction with as fans, like what are they doing?
Right.
They're leading the industry right now. And that's a lot. Some of that we're going to talk about right now. Some of the changes sound really weird or seem weird, especially when you look back 8 years ago. But they're quite possibly leading in so many ways. You gotta slice a little bit off. You gotta break some omelets to make some eggs. I think that's.
Whoa, is that how we do it? BT Maverick, Westworld season 1 was great. Season 2 and on, no. Carry on. You were saying?
No, that's a good point. Like Mag says, they're not gonna go, oh wow, season 1 is a hit. Let's sign 3 seasons. No. And that's why I brought up Prison Break.
It's still considered an unproven IP. Because the way that they look at it, these guys do not unproven in the game world. On television.
Well, of course. No, I mean, even on TV, it seems to be a smash hit, but
it is. But you got to understand, these executives do not work with emotion. These guys work with dollars and cents. And what it all boils down to, we'll give you a season 2, but the numbers have to be better.
Absolutely.
Or else you're not getting a season 3. It's just like when that's why they don't announce trilogies anymore. You notice that, by the way? They don't even have Dune. Can you imagine? Dune 1 was a great movie. All right. A step up from the 1984 version of Dune or whatever. Right. Yeah. And then they barely got a season. They barely got a Dune 2 off the ground because the executive producers were like, it was great, but it's not making enough money for us.
Two? Yeah, I mean, if
2 did better.
If Dune 1 was the second movie, I would say good luck because 2 was fantastic.
Right, but here's the thing. Do you know that they're still not even saying that his name is Jacques Villeneuve? No, Jacques Villeneuve is a race car driver.
It's Denis Villeneuve, but it's pronounced very fancy. Denis.
It's Denis Villeneuve. Yeah, Pierre. You know what I'm talking about in the chat there. And it was Denis. Wow, Jacques Villeneuve. Can you imagine that? He was like an F1 like race car driver from the 90s. I don't even know what that.
Jacques Cousteau.
Yeah, it was Jacques Cousteau, as a matter of fact. Anyways, Denis actually even said, he goes, I don't even know if I'm getting a Dune 3. He's like, because I'm not sure the profit margins are big enough for them. And that is insane.
That's what I'm saying. In this economy,
Fallout.
You got to take it one season and one movie at a time. And
that's it.
We're kind of seeing that with games too. Hey, and guess what? Welcome to the X&C podcast, where we talk about TV and movies for 30 minutes.
It's all gaming. We're talking about gaming stuff. I look forward to seeing what they do, because now not the same studio, but the same company is doing God of War next, right? So I'm really excited to see where they take that. And then and doesn't Netflix have something from Xbox as well? Do they have something else, or is it?
There's a couple things. There's a grounded TV show, and this is one of those things where
it's called.
We're now learning that if you can make a really great adaptation of a video game, people will absolutely flock. Let's talk about video games, because right now the Fallout TV show has boosted Fallout 4.
Yes, it has.
Colloquially known as the worst Fallout. Holy crap, Mag. I can't even wait for the update. I put in 20 hours just this weekend, 10 hours before the weekend after I wrapped with the show. Fallout 4 just on Steam alone. Now remember, Fallout 4 is available on PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series consoles, Steam, and who knows where else it's available. The Bethesda launcher, that's still alive. It's available on all these platforms. It's just on Steam alone. It's hitting 200,000 concurrent players in a day. I'm sorry, 160,000, which is just under Helldivers at 200K. Yes. And Helldivers is still cranking along, a multiplayer game where people are playing. There's stuff to unlock. They've got a live service model going on. But the 8-year-old or 9-year-old now, Fallout 4 is hitting 160,000 just on Steam. There's a 7,500% uptick in sales in Europe alone for Fallout 4, an old game. And one more thing.
That means, go ahead.
They have, I'm trying to remember which one this is. Fallout 76, which I think people would say is the absolute worst Fallout. I think it's fantastic. Well, now it's fantastic because it's climbing up to 80% on reviews on Steam. Like, people are playing the game realizing, holy crap, we crapped on this game forever. It's amazing. We're playing with our friends. There's so much you can do. 73,000 concurrent people. They hit an all-time record. Fallout 76, Mag, is doing really, really, really well across all platforms. That's all I can say, like, really well. And people are buying, people are playing. I played 4 hours of 76 last night. I played with Keith from Keith in the Movies for a bit. I played with my friends at Holly and Dante and Red Wolf. So it's been doing really, really well.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a sign of success of the show, is because people watch it and say, you know what? Let me check this out. So they go to YouTube, maybe watch like a little bit of Fallout 4 gameplay or 76, and be like, all right, you know what? No harm, no foul. It could, even if you don't have Game Pass, how much could it possibly cost at this point? You know what I mean? Like a couple of bucks. You know what I mean? So it's all right, I'll buy it. I'll give it a shot. And so like people are getting into it, and that's interesting. Now, I believe the next gen update is in 3 days. Is it not? Is it the 25th of April?
It is on the 25th. Yeah, this Thursday.
Okay, so
I forgot to put up the
Thursday.
gameplay. I've got an hour plus of gameplay.
That's gonna be a good day, man.
Fallout for my stuff. Oh yeah.
So you're gonna have the Fallout. You're gonna have the Fallout 4 next gen
Crawl
update.
out to the Fallout, baby.
And then Stellar Blade the same day. That's a great day for everybody if you're into that stuff. So yeah, you've got great graphics and then and great buttocks. I meant gameplay. Excuse me.
What? Why? I've got so much footage here. I have an hour and 14 minutes of footage. I meant to start playing. I never remember what to do while we started talking about the TV show. So
Colt, you're showing footage of you staring at the floor. Ridiculous.
Right, yeah. Catch up. There's a clip in there where I actually recorded to specifically show that everything can be. You can take it out of your backpack and throw it on the ground and leave it there and pick it up later. It's one of the reasons why Starfield was 30 frames. But yeah, what you're looking at, most of the footage you're looking at here is the 4K 60 mod without FPS boost mode on Xbox. Right now, you can play this game with FPS boost mode, and it runs at 60 with a reduced resolution. But if you use a mod and disable achievements, you get a full 4K 60, or at least it looks like.
What's the point? You're going to get that in a couple of days, no?
Yeah, I mean, but this has been available for like a year.
Like, I know, but I'm saying if people can hang out, right? But people can hang out for like 3 more days.
Yeah,
when they release that new thing, well, yeah, and then off you go. Then you get the bells and whistles across the board, and then and then you know what? You never know. That is going to be a very interesting litmus test to see where and how long they prioritize Fallout 5, because we had heard when they had first taken Bethesda, they're like, well, by the time we get to a new Fallout, it probably won't be till 2030, and that sounds stupid. Yeah, it sounds stupid, but it actually is not. And you know why? Because they prioritized Starfield. And then, of course, they're prioritizing the the patches and everything else that they're doing to rebuild this, because they're trying to repackage and relaunch this thing with the DLC that's coming out, right? What is it called? Shattered, whatever.
Why the frick did they not have this Fallout 4 update ready when the show launched?
Well, they're not that far off the mark, but you're right. They should have released it the day of. That would have a little bit of cross hype between like the gaming studios and of course the television studio. I think that would have been a great idea. But anyways, the point is now they're prioritizing on the Shattered whatever Starfield, and then plus
Shattered
repackaging Yeah, there you go, Shattered Space. And then you've got they're trying to repackage Starfield for a relaunch. You know what I mean? To see if they can and you see that it's working, because you see a lot of people talk about, I'm not going to go back to it, but I see a lot of people talk about it, say, is this the resurgence of Starfield and this and that, whatever. So you got people talking about it, but then they're going to be concentrating on Elder Scrolls 6. Yes. Where the hell is Fallout? And you know that if Starfield took 280 years to get to be finished. How the hell long? No, Colt, 280 years. Okay, that's a fact.
Dog years, yeah. Dog meat years.
How long is Elder Scrolls 6 going to take? Because you know that game's going to be monstrous inside.
8 years. I mean, they've been working on it since probably... They've been doing pre-production as early as 2020, but now they're fully on board. Todd Howard recently said... Do I have his quote here? I think I just have it kind of paraphrased, but no, I don't have his quote here. Todd Howard said that they are in full production for Elder Scrolls 6, and they've got some other projects in the works. So I would assume that means that they're doing preliminary plans for Fallout 5 while they get other teams into certain production levels for Elder Scrolls 6, because Todd Howard said if he could wave his wand, he would make Fallout 5 appear. And yeah, I think they have between Elder Scrolls and Fallout, both the studio wants to put out both at this, they wish they could get them both done because they're so important to them.
Let's also face it. I don't think the studio expected this kind of a positive response to the show. And then of course, a resurgence of their old games. Let's face it. I don't think they expected that.
I would hope they would. I mean, the premieres went really well, but
no. But I'm saying like a month ago when they didn't know.
Yeah.
When they had no idea what was about to happen. I don't think they expected this kind of, an explosion of interest where everybody's downloading it, buying it, whatever. I bet you they're sitting there going, holy crap, what the hell's happening? Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious to see, because I'd love to be a fly on the wall for those conversations where we're saying, okay, well, obviously we're prioritizing, they got Starfield out and they got the Shattered Space coming out. And then obviously Elder Scrolls 6 are going to be their number one priority beyond that launch. Right?
Yeah. Or
do they get another team in there of 100 and say, guys, get cracking on Fallout 5 and let's shorten, let's close that window a little bit. And you're not going to get it out for season 2. You're not going to get it out for season 3 of the show. But Z Black Rider said in the chat, he was saying, if they released it week by week, by the time this update come out, it'll be halfway through the season.
They could, they could.
But he's not wrong. But
the idea was to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The idea would be to get Fallout 5 out when you wrap the show. Let's say they're thinking ahead and they're like, we'll probably, get through the whole series in three seasons or something.
It's going to take time to film and do the pre and post production.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, you're going to talk about at least 2 years between seasons. So you're going to talk about from now. Let's say they get greenlit for a season 3 because season 2. Is really good, let's say. You've got another 4-year window, but beyond that, if Fallout 5 is going to need more than 4 years. It's not going to happen in 4 years.
It's going to be a 6 to 8 year ordeal.
Yeah,
like you say 2030, it could be as late as 2035. I just got to say, guys.
Let's not hold our breath, guys.
Shout out to over 700 people who are here watching the show. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show and enjoying the presentation of Mag and I talking about Fallout and the footage on screen. I got to say, for a 9-year-old game, and I've been playing Fallout constant. The game has such a great look, and I know it can look sort of cartoony in a way, but man, I think it's just for such a dingy world you live in this game. Like right now, if the footage is in sync with what I'm saying, you're inside Super Duper Mart, And I don't have the
yeah.
Pip-Boy on for a reason, because the baked-in fake lighting that Fallout uses in Fallout 4 is way better than it should be. It's actually really, really cool. And it kind of pours over to people. A lot of people thought Starfield wasn't a good-looking game. You just kind of take a look at what, like, the scope of how amazing these games look and feel.
Yeah.
And the gunplay's fantastic. I've
The
played
gunplay
so
is good.
much.
I'll give it
So
that. Beer Baron, you're not wrong. That would have been a damn good idea.
What was it?
About handing it off to Obsidian? Except Obsidian has their own hit on their hands, and an unexpected hit with Outer Worlds, right?
Which
and now
is
they're working
not
on
a Far Cry for sure. Like, Outer Worlds could be pretty awesome.
Well, and they're working on that second one, so I think all their eggs
Yeah.
are in that basket right now, right? So it's. But that's not a bad idea. Like, I mean, I think maybe before the fact they could have said, "Hey, you know what? Now that we're all one big happy family, so to speak, hand it off to Obsidian and get them to do the Fallout 5 in collaboration with." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching.
That would have been a great idea.
That would be, well, I mean, everybody thinks that's a great idea, and we've talked about it on the show. I was watching the intro to Fallout 1 on YouTube, because I'm like, can I play this game? It's so crusty and dusty. Even as a PC game, it's really clunky to play. Like, I was having a hard time playing it. But in the intro, the very first name you see is Brian Fargo, who, of course, is leading an exile, and they are getting ready to show more, or get ready to release Clockwork Revolution, got to say it right, in the next year or two. Sure. And then the next name is Tim Kaine, who is currently working on your Outer Worlds 2 you're talking about. Tim Kaine doesn't work with Obsidian anymore, or Interplay, or Xbox, or Bethesda, but he is on the consulting team working directly for Outer Worlds 2. And then the very next name you see, the third name you see in the credits, is Fergus Urquhart, who is leading Obsidian, working on Outer Worlds 2 and Grounded. And those are the games they're working on right now. So you've got Tim Kaine on the docket, right? You've got Brian Fargo. When you say the big happy family, it's like, why not? As soon as you wrap Clockwork Revolution in 2025, let's say it comes out late 2025 or maybe early 26, right? Get Brian Fargo, Tim Kaine, and Fergus Urquhart all together and say, hey, let's make a joint effort. Let's take the Starfield engine, and let's just make a Fallout game out of it. And let's pick a location and let's do it. I think fans would be.
You say Starfield engine? No.
That's what they do. They can't take the Fallout 4 engine, and you definitely can't make a Fallout game in Unreal Engine. It would be a disaster.
That wouldn't work. Yeah, that wouldn't work. Yeah.
So, that's what Bethesda does. You have to remember, Skyrim came out, and then Fallout 4 came out, and you could feel half of the Skyrim pieces, because they just keep stacking Creation Engine.
Oh, they're building. Yeah, they're building on top of it, which is the way you do things, right? You start with your foundation, you build up from there. So no, absolutely makes sense. I get it. Yeah. So it grows organically from there, but
yeah,
I figure at some point they're going to need some kind of an update.
I would not be mad, guys. I would not be mad that if Obsidian took the Fallout 4 9-year-old engine, that framework, and just built a spinoff. I would love it. I would love it, because Obsidian's amazing. But it'd actually be more likely if they just give them the framework of Starfield and just build a Fallout game, which is absolutely what they would end up doing. If they were working on Fallout 5 right now, guys, they would take the Starfield framework and build upon it and take another half step or full step into the next generation. That's what they do. And you know what? I don't hate it. I love Starfield. I love Fallout 4. I love Fallout 76. It's built right off of 4, so... Yeah, this is that clip of when we played with Phil, and he's like using my workbench there. But yeah, I don't know. I love it. Love it.
Tricks for Trey, I will show you how to make some proper spaghetti. Sorry, he asked me that like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah,
I didn't forget. I didn't forget Tricks for Trey. I didn't forget. I'll put some new cooking videos up soon.
I need to have real spaghetti, because I do not like regular spaghetti most of the time. So. It's one of my least favorite meals.
Well, I made an incredible dish yesterday, just off the cuff, and I actually made it for my wife's lunch, and it was just ridiculous. And I'm like, why didn't I film this? It was so good, and it was so beautiful and so colorful, and like just absolutely amazing. And I'm like, because I was just like, just just doing it, and like just doing it, just creating, and I stared at it after I was done the dish, and I'm like, you idiot, why didn't you film this for TikTok? But what do I know? I mean, I could show the Chinese, hey China, look, this is what we do with our noodles.
They could show them by getting it on TikTok, and they're like,
yeah. They're like, yeah.
I put a poll up while we were talking. Yeah. What's your favorite Fallout? And the chat.
What was the final tally?
4. Well, I mean, it's only 159 votes, but Fallout 4 is the favorite. Fallout 3 and New Vegas are tied, and then Fallout 76 is last.
I actually enjoyed Fallout 3 back in the 360 days.
Oh yeah, I did too.
Yeah. I remember renting that because I had never heard of Fallout. Right? And this was way back in the day. And I remember being at Blockbuster Video. Remember you can rent video games from Blockbuster Video? I used to go in there all the time, and they had the PS3 and 360 section. They were across from each other. And you could go rent the games. And then they even did actually at one point, really smart, which I actually subscribed to. It was kind of like the early days of Game Pass. Blockbuster had a $20 a month. $20 a month. Oh, no, or was it 25 Canadian? I can't remember. It's either $20 or $25 a month, and you could rent unlimited games.
I think it was 50. It might have been 50. It was pretty expensive.
50? That seems a little bit high. I don't think I would have gone for it back in those days.
That's my memory of the summer pass. Yeah, that does
summer pass. This was monthly. This was monthly. It was like $20 a month or something.
Yeah, it was a monthly thing. But my memory.
But you could only rent one game at a time, though. You couldn't go in there and take like 10 games. You had to do one at a time.
Yeah, I did that.
And then you could finish it and return it. And I used to just rip. That's where I got a lot of my achievement points. I remember in one year I ended up getting like 200,000, I think it was.
You just crank through games like as quickly as possible?
No, in those days I was just going for them and just whatever. But now I slow down, I take my time, I go for the full completions, get that 1,000, get that platinum, whatever I'm working on, but whatever. Anyways, the point of the story is that I got Fallout 3 because I saw it there and I'm like, what is this? And so I ended up picking it up. I started playing it. I'm like, what the hell's happening? And then I got into it. Like, the story was pretty cool. And I'm like, this is pretty neat. And then somewhere through the mix, Fallout 4 slipped through the fingers. And I actually didn't play it when it launched. I played it a year or two later. So, but anyways, good times all around.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing what the future holds. But I ain't holding my breath. So it ain't going to be anytime soon.
I'm really upset with Randall Thor because... Now that he's finished the show, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Now that the show is finished, he's like, I can play Fallout 4 and it's going to get the update. And then another game comes up. He goes, I'm going to play that. Then I play Stellar Blade. I'm like, you will never play Fallout 4 or Cyberpunk. I hate you so much.
Is his show finished forever or just finished for like the week? Because I was kind of angling for it to finish forever. So I was going to take his spot.
Oh, you mean his podcast?
Yeah.
I don't know. Only thousands watch it every single week.
I'm kidding. What? Thousands? That's nonsense. Maybe a few dozen people. The rest are bots that Jez bought. Yeah. Windows Central. Gosh. Windows Central pays for all that. But anyways, I'm all joking. I love you guys. Come on. I'm always creeping around. I always rib Randall Thor. I haven't spoken to that guy in probably 2 months, man. No, maybe about a month. Maybe 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I talk to the dude every day.
I know. Well, let's say hi to him. Say, you know what? Meg doesn't want you to always be a stranger, for crying out loud. And it's not like he listens to our piddly little show.
Oh, heck no. Well, we can see if he's in the chat. Watch.
He's not in the chat.
No, he ain't there. He's playing. He's sleeping.
Yeah, he's sleeping. He's watching replays of Stellar Blade. Yeah. Anyways, carry on.
If you're watching the footage, what you're looking at is a collection of gameplay clips that I've recorded over the past couple years for Fallout content that I've made. So I was actually I've been in the long works to make a video about mods that you could put if you're on Xbox or PlayStation or PC. They're all universal. The best way to mod the game if you want to like try a fresh playthrough with some changes and some visual changes in the game. So I'm working on that. That would be something, if I end up finishing it, would come out by Thursday, but it's probably one of the biggest videos I've ever had to work on. I've already captured like 40 clips for oh my gosh, it's crazy. But
interesting.
Yeah.
Darquinho from Brazil. I see you there, buddy. I have no new news about the Gears collection. Unfortunately.
I have also not heard anything.
Yes. But greetings to Brazil from Canada and from the United States, my friend. Thank you for tuning into the show.
Yeah, thank you. What time is it way over there? Oh yeah, they're in the same I'm just kidding.
As me, isn't it the same as Eastern Standard?
Brazil, yeah, they line up with the East Coast. I think I'm doing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because when I was in the Dominican, obviously, which is much further south, closer to Haiti, it's all the same time zone. I was actually completely blown away by that. But yeah.
Yeah,
anyways.
shout out if you're south of the U.S., like Mexico, Brazil, or anywhere in South America. Let us know in the chat, because I always think of the people that listen outside of America as pushing to the east over to UK. We have some people from Australia and other places, that even Norway, that watch the show. Oh gosh, I'm gonna go there. And I always forget, like, because we hear about people from Brazil. But shout out to everybody who checks out the show. Even if you're checking out the show after the fact, we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and other places. So that's actually on video. If you're on Spotify, Mag, you can go to our show on Spotify and watch our ugly faces in real time.
Ugly faces. It's
look,
exactly
there's a
true.
Repeating clip, I think.
Darquinho's saying that it's 22:09, so that's military. Anybody in the military here? I think that's 10:09 p.m. So I think they're an hour ahead.
In the UK, when I was over there, or in the EU, a lot of people in the UK and EU use the 24-hour clock. Yes. And I'm like, I can't.
Well, my wife's an engineer, and they use the 24-hour clock.
Oh gosh,
so
I work
same
with
thing.
engineers.
Yeah, it drives me nuts. Like, you can't say 3:30 like a normal person.
Oh,
you have to say 1500. I have to sit there going.
I go 1500.
13,
like, you don't say 1500.
Yeah. 15, 16, and I'm like, oh, so it's 5 o'clock. You can't just say 5 o'clock.
Wait, is that what?
I don't know. I'm just making up.
Danny Passion Official, thank you so much for the super chat. For the $5, says, Meg, you know that they aren't ever sure if the show or movies will do good or not. By the way, the show is awesome, and I haven't finished any Fallout game.
Wow, hey, you know what? You got time, man. You got time. By the way, to answer somebody in the chat, hey, Puerto Rico, that's nice to see you over there. To answer something in the chat, this is actually an Xbox hat I'm wearing.
It is?
You can't see. Yeah, it is. But look here, I'll turn to the side. This side, it just looks like a gray hat. But check this out.
Oh, bro, it's an Xbox hat. You push his head and he goes.
They sent it to me. Yeah, I was very pleased.
Because
I'm a grifter and a shill.
I'm a shifter and a grifter.
Yeah.
Wait, is my footage done?
Xbox Canada gave it to me. Yeah. Anyway, it's a very cool hat.
Oh, okay. Wait, what's going on here? Okay, the footage is back. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Well, welcome, everybody. Danny Passion Official has another one. Another $2 super chat says, my non-gamer wife finished watching Fallout. She loved it. Same. We sat and watched it. The best was on a Friday or Saturday night, we usually get pizza. And we got great pizza. We got a local place. And she goes, can we not watch the Fallout show until after we're done eating?
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I was like, okay, we'll watch The Rookie or whatever. Angry Hippie.
I know, I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking, AGH. Don't get excited. And yeah, sorry, carry on.
He's only slightly not joking.
I was joking. I was just trying to get a rise out of people.
What, did you write something I didn't see?
No. It was about the time thing, about making jokes about the time, using the 24-hour clock.
We don't know.
As opposed to the 12-hour clock. Yeah, no, I'm just messing around. I don't care. You guys can call the time however you want. I understand it. Anyway.
I can't read music. I can't read a 24-hour clock, and I can't rollerblade. How about that?
Wow.
I cannot.
Yeah, rollerblade. Unbelievable.
That's because I'm a man.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. My friends were like into rollerblade in the 90s. I'm like, really? And then I tried it, and I'm like, I suck. I don't know. I just can't do it.
Fair enough. Do you skate?
No, I'm horrible roller skater. Right in the chat. No,
I mean, like
something that you're horrible at.
Like ice skate.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Okay,
no, well, I can't. No, I mean,
even an Italian,
anything under
even
my
an
feet.
Italian in Canada. Come on, we all play hockey. So you know what I mean. So we all know how to play hockey up here. But so we all skate. So yeah, rollerblading was easy for me. It's just basically doing the same thing, just on asphalt instead of ice.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of things I don't do well. How about that? I'll just leave it at that. Angry Hippie, thank you so much for the $5. It says, I like the show enough. I paid for no ads and finished it uninterrupted. Nice. Love it. Gamer by choice, thank you so much for the 2. Blockbuster Game Pass was 1 or 2 games at a time. Yeah, I think it was 1 for what I remember.
Yeah, I remember
it was 2.
I think you could get 2 if you were just renting like normally, like a la carte, so to speak. But if you were part of that season pass or whatever the hell it was, that monthly thing, I think it was a maximum of 1 at a time because they didn't want people taking advantage of it, right? Because then all of a sudden some other guy shows up and some other guy takes all the games. I think it was 1. You might be right though; it might have been a maximum of 2, but who the hell knows?
Right. I don't know.
Tacos
My memory
at
was it was
Fonz's.
like, what's that? Who? What? Who?
Tacos at Fonz's house tonight.
Oh, bro, he's having taco night. Everybody.
Yep.
When the show is over, I want everybody. We're gonna get in my Dodge Caravan, my 1987 Dodge Caravan.
87.
It's burgundy, and with the wood paneling. We're all gonna climb in there and go over and have tacos at Fonz's house. So I was on the phone with him while he was picking out the ingredients, and boy, he couldn't be more bland. He's like, oh, so we got some seasoning packets, and yeah, he was really having the taco night going on there. Mag, I've got gaming topics. Let me get to this thing. Did you hear that Xbox topped PlayStation? Their games that Xbox now has control of: Fallout, Call of Duty, Minecraft, you name it. All these big games on Xbox were so far ahead on the PlayStation Store that they were leading PlayStation's first-party output for most played and most bought on the charts. It's absolute Xbox domination in a way that no one saw coming.
So if Xbox decides to ever get out of the console business, they become one of the biggest publishers on the planet, like I'd already said. I've already said this before.
They're getting there right now.
That's what I'm saying. So it's part of the plan. So if they're already making, I'm not saying they're getting out of the console business as part of the plan. I'm just saying it's part of the plan if all else fails. Then they're already doing incredibly well on PlayStation. Why the hell would they? Why waste tens of millions of dollars on R&D if people aren't going to buy it? Just have an open, you know what I mean? Just have an open system. I'm just saying, like, the Xbox platform itself, specifically the console, if it's not selling, if they try again next generation, it doesn't work out, then their games are going to do great.
Yeah.
You can play them on PC, you can play them on cloud, and Xbox will become a service. And you'll play them on PlayStation, you'll play them on Switch too. And like I said, this is like absolute, like, as if everything failed like 10 years from now. But yeah, you could already see the roadmap is already there. It's the pieces are in place. The games are doing well. They're successful. And they got to continue pumping out great games. And you know what? I'm very interested to see how this is going to go next generation with the new console and everything else, and great games to come with it. But the gap that they have to have great games that come with it. The games that are out now are doing incredibly well because they're good games.
Well, I mean, it just shows, Mag, that Xbox doesn't need to put every single game on PlayStation. Just with a few select titles and some existing older dusty games, PlayStation is their PlayStation user base is playing more of the games that Xbox owns. And so Sea of Thieves isn't even fully there yet. Like, it's just starting.
Microsoft doesn't care if you buy Xbox consoles. I really don't. I really believe that. I think that they want it. I think all they care about is your engagement. Don't matter where that engagement is.
I thought you were going to say all they care about is urine. And then you said your engagement.
your engagement. All they care about is engagement at the end of the day, because that's where they make sure that you're in their ecosystem one way or another. Whether you're playing somewhere else and playing their games, whether you're in their ecosystem and playing their games, whether you're on the cloud playing their games or on your phone or your tablet or your PC, as long as you're playing their games, that's all they care about. They've proved that with Windows being a subscription service and Microsoft Office being a subscription service, and now Microsoft is the biggest company on the planet. Do they care that you're buying an Xbox console? No, they don't care. They care that you're engaging in the product. And that's why they're focusing so much on that product. But they are going to give it one more kick at the can, next gen, and see what this, we'll see what they do. They'll see what they can provide. And they got to back it up with incredible games. Because it all hinges, at the end of the day, hardware means nothing, crossplay means nothing, selling on PlayStation means nothing if the games are ass. Okay? If they're not good, then they're going to crumble one way or another. It's going to be mid, and that's all there is to it. So they have to hit hard with great games.
Yeah, and there's some inconsistencies where there's like a perception problem where people think that a lot of Xbox's games are right?
Sorry, I just went and said it. We were an hour 18 in. I figured that's fine.
No, I'm just Mag. You're good.
Yes.
Bro.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, if Xbox's games suck, there's this perception that a lot of them suck. But like when you look at Fallout 76, I know you're not saying it. It's a perception, right? And I think there are some games that Xbox is there's a good chunk of games that Xbox is partner with that I think they suck, and people get mad when I say I didn't think ReCore was a good game, and I didn't think Quantum Break was a great game, and I didn't think Minecraft Dungeons was a good game, but. The funny thing is, some of these games are okay, but they're super successful.
Like, they're successful. That's all that matters,
right? When I hate that.
But
I hate that when. So, just so you know, guys, I changed the setup where I have Mag and I like up in front of me at all times, so that I won't talk over him, and I'm watching us go.
No, I'm doing it too because we're trying to sync everything. So I'm talking over him, he's talking over me, but we're not meaning to do so. We're just trying to get used to new setup. So have patience, folks.
Yeah. I get ticked off that Mag will say something or do something and I don't get the reaction in real time. Fawn says, let's say mini games are mid. Yeah, I mean, Fawn's is right. Even PlayStation has a big chunk of mid games. Xbox does as well.
The point I was trying does.
Yeah. Even at Nintendo, like they've got some mid games that sell really, really well. And people love them, right? So what I was trying to get at, like with Fallout 76, people would say it's very, very mid. It's doing really, really well right now. So if you've got an older game that is still on PlayStation and people are coming back to play it or they're still playing it, and it's, people are buying expanded content or cranking the microtransactions, there's a perpetual thing that is going on where the biggest publishers have the most popular game that everyone's still playing, like Roblox, Fortnite, right? So where was I? I'm totally losing my way. So PlayStation is seeing Xbox games do really well, and I think that means that Xbox will grab a couple of games here or there, and they'll test bed them on the PlayStation console. And I think they're going to keep those exclusives. I truly believe that Phil didn't lie when he said, don't see this as a signal of what's to come. But the game really changed when Activision Blizzard finally got approval through the FTC. So Xbox is going to pick some games. I would not be shocked if Starfield comes next year, right?
I want to ask you. Sure, I want to ask you a question now.
Uh-huh.
And I mentioned this before when we talked about how, I think it was about a month ago when we started hearing that Sea of Thieves became the most pre-ordered game on PlayStation next to Stellar Blade and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
My question was at that time, and my question is now, Chad, I want to hear what you guys have to say about this too. By the way, keep those lasagnas coming.
I love them. Looks so delicious.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Do you think now, not Phil and them,
okay,
the bean counters, the one above him, the ones that are in Microsoft, not Xbox, does this embolden them further to say, you see what happens when we release a couple of small games in there? Imagine if fill in the blank. Imagine if fill in the blank, right? With all the games that we talked about back in January when everybody, wanted our heads for saying are coming to PlayStation, which still are. I never changed my stance on that, but it's just a matter of when. Do you think it's going to embolden them to go further and say, Gears whatever is going to go over there, or Halo whatever is going to go over there at some point? Okay. I'm just asking. Do you think this emboldens them further now that you see?
Oh, yeah.
Now that you see the fruition, never mind the pre-sales, now that the games are out and they're doing incredibly well and the engagement is there, now does this embolden them even further? My question to you.
That is a super good question, because I think there's a dance. There's a very delicate dance where they have to say, look, Game Pass is a much bigger platform than our console. Now, if you believe there's 33 million or whatever the number is of Game Pass subscribers, but you only have 30 million consoles out, I think that means that Game Pass is your bigger platform than the console plastic. So the delicate dance is, can we gain more people on the Game Pass platform with unique content? I think the perfect answer, Mag, which they already proved by bringing Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, and Pentiment, which are all old games. You bring those to PlayStation later. The delicate dance. No, shout out to Yodani for all the lasagnas. No joke, lasagna is actually my favorite food. I've actually never made lasagna in my life. I need to change that.
Bold.
Okay, I know. I've never sat down to make it. The delicate dance is, I think it's laid out in front of you. The games come to Game Pass and Xbox and PC first. And then you say, like, look at Starfield was a huge success, far more successful than we ever thought. Like, we didn't understand. And all I've heard was Starfield was really successful and it exceeded expectations. Now, I know people have their different ideas about it, but here's the dance. Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. It's on PlayStation a year later. Because guess what we learned, Mag? That if you bring a year-old or even a 6-year-old game to PlayStation, it does amazing, except for Pentiment. So I think that's the dance. And I think that's the discussion.
All right.
You put up the sales figures and you go, how are we doing making money on Game Pass? How are we doing when we sell our games on PlayStation? And you're like, I think the answer is exclusive to Xbox's ecosystem for at least a year is the answer. Putting Elder Scrolls 6 on PlayStation day and date is not the answer, because then you'll cannibalize Game Pass. Because people are like, I'll just play it where most people are on PC.
So then essentially they're going to go for the PlayStation model in terms of PlayStation games going to PC.
Yeah, like that, kind of like the flip-flop idea. Yeah,
give it some time. Give it a year. Give it 2, maybe. I don't even think 2 years is feasible anymore.
You, Mag,
I think it'll be 1 year. Yes.
What do you think about that concept? Like, you get 1 year exclusivity, and then we're going to make bank on PlayStation. Do you like that idea? You think it works?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me in any. It doesn't bother me in any which way or form. I'm going to consume. If the product is good, I'm going to consume wherever it is, wherever it's going to be. I have no problem with that. So the thing is, if I'm going to play it, if you wait a year to put it on PlayStation, by that time, I think a lot of the hype and everything else, and the FOMO and the discussions and the podcasts and the whatevers. Everybody discuss it, and the reviews that you see out there and the IGNs of the world. If everybody's talking about these games and the games are hot, there's no way on God's green earth, I don't care how patient you are. If the game is hot and it's the talk of the town across the board, ain't nobody waiting a year so you can play it on a PlayStation, or you play it on PC, or you play it on whatever that you're going to wait time for. Maybe PC.
I mean, I waited a year for Deathloop and Ghostwire, but I knew
those
they
games
were
didn't
coming.
light the world on fire either.
Okay.
They were okay. They were Bethesda-ish games, but like they were. You know
ain't
what I mean?
no PC guy waiting a year for Grand Theft Auto. He's going to go buy or she are going to buy right. They're going to buy a console.
The game has to hit hard, and that's why those people will say, "God damn, I'm not waiting until 2026 to play fill in the blank on PlayStation. I'm going to go
Hellblade 2, right? Like Hellblade 2 could be one of the next ones.
Or Game Pass. I won't even say Xbox anymore. I'll just say Game Pass. Let's say, because now that they've dropped the Xbox in the Game Pass thing, because they're changing the the way that they market it.
Yeah.
So they're going to go and seek out. They will go and seek out Game Pass. They will seek out an avenue to be able to play that game, even if they're on.
I mean, you can literally play Xbox games almost everywhere except the PlayStation. Risk It Over Biscuit has an outstanding member chat here. He's been a channel member for 31 months. And I need to send Risk It something, see if I can send something all the way to Australia on a boat, on a paper boat. But I need to send him something.
He says grenade. Yeah. You can send him that.
Oh.
Yeah, what is that? It's ticking.
Yeah. Shout out to Lotus is Free. They just gifted 10 more channel memberships. Hey, you guys, all you wonderful people. Thank you for being here and becoming brand new channel members. Ice Cold's one of them who won the coin last week. If you get a channel membership and you're now like in the exclusive club, let's see the Hot Fudge Sunday. Let's see the Hot Fudge Sunday. What?
Malik? Believe it, dude. Malik, believe it.
I don't believe it.
I still don't believe.
Go ahead.
Did you see what he said?
No, go ahead.
I still don't believe it's many people willing to spend $500 for GTA 6.
Believe it.
You're absolutely, you best believe they will. There are people out there. When PlayStation 4 went into the stratosphere, people were buying PlayStation 4s just to play God of War. 2018.
I did.
And Spider-Man.
I bought my PS4. I bought it used for $220, right? Because I knew God of War was coming in like 2 months, and Spider-Man was coming that fall. And I'm like, I gotta play it. I gotta do it.
Colt, when I saw the 10 out of 10s across every single whatever in the whole galaxy, I was like, this can't be ignored. And I went and bought a PS4 Pro, the Spider-Man edition.
Oh yeah,
the red one. right? You best believe people will spend $500 for GTA 6. 100% that's going to happen. And if not, they're going to go to Facebook Marketplace, buy used ones, used Xbox, used PlayStation, whatever. 300 bucks, 250. Maybe get robbed while you're at it. I don't know. Bring a posse with you. Have them sitting by the Honda Civic with a couple.
When I bought my PS3 at the end of the PS3 generation, I bought one to play through those big exclusives. I bought it from somebody on Craigslist or something like that, and the guy met me at my work, and you literally described it. An older Honda Accord, and he popped the trunk, and the trunk was filthy. And he hands me the PS3. It's in the box with it all ripped. It was covered in dust. And I was like, what? The guy was 25 years old, and I was I don't know how old I was, 30 something. And I'm like, what did you do with this thing? Why is it so filthy?
Man, you got to make it. You got to meet up at a police station or meet up. That always gets rid of the criminals right away. Or show up with a posse and make sure you have a few crowbars hanging around. Trust me, ain't nobody going to be robbing the mag. That's for goddamn sure.
You're perched up on the corner of the building. You just come down with a crowbar.
Oh, no, dude. I bring some scary people. Yeah, go for it.
I forgot because Lotus Esprit. That was so. And,
okay, everybody forgets.
Hold on. Yes, everybody forgets, and we're very old. Thank you so much, Master, gifting 10 channel memberships. Thank you so much for doing that. People are hitting the Hot Fudge Sunday in the chat. You guys are amazing. I appreciate all of you. Risker for the Biscuit said, no, guys, they have to have tentpole full exclusive titles. If they don't, the console dies prematurely. Yes, Mag, people will wait regardless of the game.
You think so? You think so? I don't think so, man. I think we just proved it right now when we were talking about God of War and Spider-Man and whatever else. People went out and
if the game is a high 80 and above, Mag, no one will wait. I remember people were not Souls fans when they saw the scores for Elden Ring and the way everyone talked.
People were buying Souls games but hold on, those are multiplats though. We're talking about exclusives specifically because we're talking about the argument of will people wait? Will people go to Xbox immediately to play a game, or will they wait the year to play it on the PlayStation if they own a PlayStation? I think if the game is an absolute must play and everybody is talking about it, it's the talk of the town. Yes, you're not going to get everybody. But because of the accessibility of the Xbox ecosystem, people will seek it out because it'll be easier there won't be a $500, $600, $700 paywall. Right? And that being the case, I think that they have more of an opportunity to do that. So I say the 1 year is good. I think it's more than enough time for people to be able to find. And then the thing is, once you're in there, that's what they want. They want to get you in there. They want to get your foot in the door because then when you're in the door, you're not just going to see the one square that says Fable. You're going to see the one square that says Fable followed by 600 other squares. And they're going to go, well, seeing as I'm here, let me take a peek around and see what's up. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you know what? I never played Gears. Because maybe they never got into it. I never played this. Oh, shoot. Look at that. There's this. Oh, man. They got that? Ooh, Rage 2. I love that. That I heard it was fun. And all of a sudden, hook, line, and sinker. They got you. And that's what they want.
I mean, they're set to have a bunch of games finally. The 2 year dry spell is finally over. So Mag's right. They're going to have this conglomerate of fresh, hot new games that people are talking about. And the stuff that they have coming is really high pedigree studio content.
You didn't play them all. Colt, I heard today that Jedi Survivor's coming.
Jedi Survivor is, I think it's now in Game Pass Ultimate via EA Play. So yeah, that's a big deal. So what I wanted to say on the back of what Riskit said about full tentpole franchises, from what I've heard, Fable, Halo, Forza titles, Gears, those established exclusives will never go to PlayStation. That's what I've heard. So it's kind of funky to think all of Bethesda's, Activision, and Blizzard, some Ninja Theory and Obsidian titles that aren't established IPs, like Playground's working on a Fable, which would never go. Okay, if that makes sense. If it's a previous pre-acquisition established franchise that Xbox owns, it will never go to PlayStation, not even a year later. But when you take a game like Outer Worlds 2, which is a multiplat, that game could definitely be on the table to come to PlayStation a year after it launches.
How do we know though? That's the how do we know what's going and what's not going? Unless we actually, you know what I mean? Like even right now,
it's hard to say. That's what somebody told me that said they'd talked to people who were kind of talking about the plans, and that was like the answer I got, that the established pre-acquisition franchises or anything that if Bethesda worked on Xbox doesn't have any established franchises before this because they hardly made any franchise games. But if Bethesda was going to dig up an old franchise that Xbox owned, like I don't know, like Blue Dragon or something. I don't even know what there is that's older. But if Xbox was going to do that with one of their other studios, that franchise is a first party, fully owned franchise. And Meg and I are just speaking on the best of our understanding and knowledge and cognitive understanding of what we think is going to happen and things that we've talked. Is that okay? Like none of this is definitive, and of course it's all fluid. But Risk It makes a great point that they have to have tentpole exclusives that are only on their ecosystem for always. Because if Fable comes out and it's fantastic and it scores close to a 9, having the boon of having that available only on Xbox consoles, on the next generation console, and only inside of Game Pass is a definite draw where you're not going to wait and play it where you want. So that's kind of, Preston says, this Fallout 76 footage? Let me see what's currently playing. Some of that was Fallout. Yes, Fallout 76 looks way better than you think. It absolutely does, especially on an OLED. Meg, I'm all over the board.
No, it's okay. So am I. It's all good, man. It's a great show. There's a fire show tonight.
You guys are.
You know what? Risk it for the biscuit. I saw what you said, man. Okay, I got a 10 pull for you right over here. Okay. Anyways, Brett Bingham, I have no idea what you're talking about. He says Mag just invalidated himself with his Halo take. I didn't even have a Halo take. I don't even know what you're talking about.
What about the TV show? There were some people who were like, "Come on, your cap," and the show wasn't great. Season 2 was very well liked. Very well. Thank you so much. Mash and Lotus Esprit have combined. Mash has just put 30 channel memberships. Lotus Esprit's put 30 channel memberships. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, everyone. Lotus, thank you. Mash, thank you so much. Where was I? We've got other topics. We are burning into the show. Here's another kicker. Take this how you will, but Xbox may be looking into getting rid of the multiplayer paywall. I've been talking about this. Literally made 3 videos since 2018 about Xbox removing the multiplayer paywall. And now with the direction they are going on every screen, making only console owners pay for multiplayer, somebody is talking about the possibility of getting rid of the paywall and having a leg up as one of the great provider of games and getting rid of that absolutely ridiculous paywall that is only there to say, we said so, that you have to pay. Now, it's a tough decision for Xbox to get rid of $1 billion a year, I think they get, just from making people pay to play online. But somebody's talking about that, or somebody says they're hearing it. So, yeah, I don't know if that makes a big deal. I pay for Game Pass Ultimate, so it's already bundled in. Maybe they'll find out a way to kind of gank you with like they push people into Game Pass Core and say, oh, you're not paying for gold anymore. Now it's Game Pass Core, and here's 25 games to ease the burn. I don't know. I'm just going to say I predict it's something we may hear about in the coming year or so, at least for next generation. I think they should have done it for this generation. I don't know. Mag, do you have anything to add to that?
I have no idea what their plans are. None whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't either.
So I'm just kind of I don't see them giving up that money. But at the same time, I don't know,
BT
man.
Maverick. I've got your super. I'm just kind of behind. Go ahead, Mag. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I really don't know what they're going to go. I mean, because a PC, you don't, Anyway, it's a big muddled mess. I don't know what they're going to do, but you see what they keep doing is adding value to the online subscriptions, right? Because it's all just melding into one, like with Game Pass and PS Plus being the 2 big ones.
They need to have better offerings right now. Holy crap.
But I'm saying, like, they're adding games and whatever monthly and all that kind of stuff. Both consoles are. And as a result, they're keeping people interested in it, and what they're driving everybody to those subscription services.
Yeah.
Right? And then I think that's always going to be part of the part of the plan. But let's say if someone goes in there and buys, I don't know, Call of Duty on Xbox and has nothing, no Game Pass, nothing, I can't see them just being able to play online for free. I think they'll always be attached to some kind of a subscription service. Something. Right. They're always going to have you attend. There's no way it's going to be an open forum where they're just going to allow you to just play and that's all there is to it. Not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell.
They got to have some way to keep you on the hook with a debit coming through.
Yeah, yes, unfortunately. Something.
They're not our friends.
They're not our friends, man. They don't like us. They don't even know us. Well, they know us. They know me. They know you. They don't like me.
They barely can stand me.
They like you. Don't worry about that. They definitely don't like me. Yeah, but anyways, some of them do. Aaron Greenberg.
Okay, there we go. That's better. BT Greenberg. Maverick, thank you so much for the super. I'm just kind of catching up. I got a couple behind here. Thank you for the 5. Says PlayStation has Xbox's Ace games all over their top 20. That's hilarious because I don't have the top 20 games that were on the list. I don't remember what they were, but it's so funny that Sea of Thieves was just called mid for so long, and it's on the top of their pre-order list. It's going to do really well. Those Fallout games, those games like, oh, Xbox has these games, but those games are mid anyway. Yeah, they're dominating their whole store. It's crazy. And I think sometimes, Mag, you and I like to hold Xbox's feet to the fire and make sure we're asking for better while we celebrate the things we love. And I think sometimes that the powers that be at Xbox are going, yeah, I see where they're coming from, but things are okay. Things are going well. We're doing really well, and we've got more games to come, and I'm tired of waiting. But we'll make it.
Yeah.
Dark DeQuino said in the chat.
DeQuino, yes.
Says, please, thank you. Says, please listen to the opening song on my channel. I did it myself with the Gibson Les Paul. It's great. I'm going to check that out.
Send it to me. Send it to me in a DM on Twitter. I'll listen to it.
Same. Yeah, send that to me. I want to hear it. Love the sound of a couple of humbuckers.
We'll get Silverback. We'll get to it, buddy.
Well, I'm on a different tab. I'm like lost. I can't see Mag. Surgrant, thank you so much for the 5-pound super. Says as long as they keep releasing and these aging incomplete games hold on, there's a typo in there. As long as they keep releasing incomplete games for $70, I will wait 12 months. Hey, you're not wrong. Waiting a year to play. Say it, Meg. It's your speech.
Come on, man. You know what? What have I been saying forever when I'm playing through those backlog games? I'm not buying any of the new games. You know why? I'm not going to play them because I'm still playing the backlog. Once I'm done with those games, by the time I get to those games, all the bugs and bull crap and all the other stuff, it's all going to be ironed out. It's all going to be fixed, all going to be patched, and the game will run beautifully.
And that's how much will the game be?
Way to do it. And the game will be $30 instead of $70. That's the way you do it. Okay, Brett Bingham, I got you now, buddy. I got it now. Sorry, he was just trying to explain something to me. But anyway, yes, yes, that's what I would do, man. You got it absolutely right. You got it right. Maybe you wait that 12 months.
Yeah, the FOMO is. I'm done with FOMO too many times.
Dude, I can't. I'm just not unless it's an online game that requires that. You know what I mean? Like for example, Call of Duty, Gulf Wars Day 1.
Let's talk about that next. Let's talk about that next. Risky for the biscuit. Thank you so much for the Australian 3. He says if Fable goes to PlayStation, someone will cry in their car. Shout out to Risk It for leaning in on the meme. Risk It. Him and I. Sometimes you got to lean in on the memes that people do to make fun of you, and instead of being a victim, the surprise face, you got to lean in on it. We got one more. We're going to talk about this live service game. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat, thank you so much for the Australian 5, says, when is Xbox VR coming out? Is essentially going to be Quest 4? I want to talk about that after this, on this next topic.
We will talk about it as our last topic.
I've been at, what time? Holy cow, yeah. The time is cruising. All right.
We'll get to this one first. Live service.
So I do not believe this, okay? This is going to come off as a bit disrespectful. But a good friend of mine, Special Nick from Xbox Era, said that he heard from his source that there are very early preliminary talks about the possibility or what if we put Helldivers 2 on Xbox. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't see any reason why they would do that other than to grab a couple of microtransactions. I don't think this is I think maybe his source heard them say something in a boardroom and somebody goes, yeah, and then they moved on. Meg, I want to know what you think about the possibility of Helldivers 2 just going fully multi-platform.
I thought about it when I first heard the same news, and I said, that makes sense. You build the player base, and I'd love to see Xbox people on there that don't have a PlayStation, because I'm playing with some Xbox players who have PlayStations. And so we're playing Helldivers, and I play with some other people. Noof Nukem just got it, so shout out to him. We're gonna squad up soon. But then I started thinking about it that Sony owns the IP, and you could bet your bottom dollar that when the PS6 comes out, Helldivers 3 is going to be a big time exclusive flagship title for the PS6.
Oh yeah,
ain't going to Xbox. They may be talking about it. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Very similar to how when we were talking about, remember back in January, I'm bringing it up again, when, the kerfuffle about what games from Xbox were going over to PlayStation, whatever, blah, blah. And people said, oh, you guys are over. And I'm like, literally what they said was, it was a discussion. Discussion does not mean it's happening. It just means that they're saying, Billy in the corner at the head of the table goes, what do you think about Halo on PlayStation? And then Phil goes, no, we're not doing that. That still means you had a discussion.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So same thing here with Helldivers. Billy sitting at the corner of the boardroom could also say, hey, what about Helldivers and Xbox? And they're like, no, we bought the IP. It's ours. Okay. That could have been a discussion.
I think they've owned the IP. I thought it was like an original PlayStation IP.
No, I think they just own the IP, not the studio.
Not the studio, yeah.
Not the studio, but the IP. They're not going to give that up, especially considering the success of Helldivers 2. I think that Helldivers 3 is going to be a PS6 PC exclusive, and it's going to be big, it's going to be better funded, and it's going to be a much broader game than it is now. The game is fun. I enjoy it for what it is. But, I mean, after you play a few hours, you're like, all right, I've seen pretty much all it's got to offer. Right?
Yeah.
You can see you know what I mean? It's more of a double A, not a giant, huge open world.
But it's still holding people. Like,
dude, it's holding people
topping the charts
because of the camaraderie of it. And it does have a fantastic presentation, the camaraderie of working together as a team. Friendly fire, the great music, the tongue-in-cheek humor. It's all there. And so that's why the games can be great. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to see more people in that community, especially from the Xbox community, getting in on the action and, bringing democracy to people and whatever else, I just don't see it happening, because Sony's going to basically turn this into a big, as Riskit would say, a tent pole. It would be a tent pole for them for PS6, and that's where you're going to get your Last of Us 3s. And your new God of Wars, and your Helldivers 3, and all those other games that they're going to have, Uncharted, God willing, next generation or whatever the hell they're going to do. Those are all the kind of things I could see them doing. I cannot see them dropping it on Xbox.
There's no reason to. Shout out to Lotus Spree. They sent another 20 channel memberships. Thank you so much. Let's see those Hot Fudge Sundays in the chat if you just became a channel member or you already are one, because it's a delicious little icon I drew up. I drew that sucker in Illustrator, baby. I drew that sucker. Yeah, I found a picture and then drew that in Vector. So it looks nice on the screen, because you guys are amazing. We appreciate all of you for being here.
They are amazing. You know what? The chat is so much. I love this chat. Honest to God, I'm not saying it because we're here. I'm literally mean every word of this. I've done countless shows, dozens, hundreds. What am I, dozens? I've done hundreds, if not thousands of shows. And I got to tell you, this chat is the best bloody chat I've ever had to deal with. They're the funniest. There's no cap, nothing. Okay. They're the
meanest.
No, they're not even mean. They're just the humor.
They're good. They're ball busters in all the best ways.
In the best ways. Witty as hell. Always makes me laugh. And let me tell you something. For a guy who likes to do a lot of comedy and whatever else, especially when I do my skits and videos and blah, blah, blah. And of course, all my shenanigans in real life outside of here, you guys make me laugh. And when I look down and I see something, I look at the chat and I start pissing my pants right in the middle of Colt doing some important speech about something. And I look down and I just start going, And I just start laughing, and I just love every minute of it. And even when we disagree, 20 seconds later, we're like, nah, dude, we all good. And they would just move on, and everything's
That's
wonderful.
good.
So
Yeah,
it's
you had
just
some
so
you had some good
awesome,
takes too. Like I know you go on Crossfire a lot, and people put up the takes that are happening, and yeah, I always listen to like the clip. They try to clip like what's going on there, and I'm like, oh gosh, people just overreact to everything. But so far, like everything's been pretty good. Like somebody said something. I think I might have been last time you were here. Somebody said something about your take on Gears of War. I think I talked about it while you were gone.
Oh, you know what? I couldn't remember. It was.
Hold on. So somebody tried to call Mag out for his take on Gears of War, and Mag literally said on the show, let them change mechanics in the game. If you change the mechanics and they're good, people will forget and just enjoy the cool new thing they did. And I thought,
and it was
Theoretical.
theoretical.
It was perfect.
But it was theoretical. I said,
right.
What if they decided that? What if they did this? What if they did that? And people were like, they can't change those mechanics, Mag. And I'm like, I didn't say they were going to. I just said, and then actually Eric Cuts for the win. She made me laugh because she posted me. She goes, Mag is wild in this show. And because I couldn't remember the name. You know when you're playing multiplayer, well, multiplayer or the campaign. Mm-hmm. You know when you do like when you take cover and then they slam into the wall. And I couldn't remember the name, and I'm like, I don't know, the slam block thing.
I heard that. That's funny because
laughing.
I couldn't even. I called Helldivers a cover shooter because I just misspoke and I got called out for it. And then you said the slam. Wait, what is it called in Gears?
I don't know. Take cover. You're taking cover because you're basically slamming into the wall, slamming into this, slamming into that.
There's actually a name for.
There's a name for it.
Help us out, Chad. There's a name where people use the cover to bounce. Wall bouncing, I think, or something like that.
Maybe wall bouncing. I don't know.
Yeah, they use that mechanic to move around the map quicker and shotgun kill everybody. It's what were we talking about? Oh, anyway, Mag made a really good point that you're going to get people mad when you change mechanics that people have like, but you can't keep mechanics that are a decade old. Like you have to move forward.
It was a theoretical, and I'm saying, what if they remove that and put something else instead, and it really works? As long as it works, people won't care, and that's all I was trying to say. But people went
Mag,
out of their effing mind.
That's not all you said. What you said was perfect. That's what we want as Gears fans. We want them to take the next step. We don't want it to feel like 4 and 5. We want it to take the next step. What are you getting warm?
Because you said it was perfect, so I was all flushed.
No, I mean,
no, not the roadie run, guys. Not the roadie run. It's not the roadie run. Is them running. Like I know you hold down A and then it does the roadie run. Not that. It's that when they slam into the different covers, like bang, 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 and when you play multiplayer, it drives me insane though. I can't stand it.
If they have shotguns, you're done. That people are experts at it.
So irritating. I hate Gears of War multiplayer. Just because I suck at it, that's why.
Yeah, I'm not very good. I don't stay with it, but
I don't hate it.
I love the story. Like if the cogs can move, like if they're more agile, if they can climb around the map a little more or move a little quicker, be a little bit more light on their feet, which I feel like in 5 you're a little bit lighter than you were in the older games. Like these are good things. And Mag made a really good. I didn't even bring that up to like.
I'm right here, buddy.
I'm not trying to vindicate.
I'm right here. Come on over. Come on over.
He's like, I'll make my paper boat and I'll be over there in a minute.
I'll stand on the edge of the ocean waiting for his little boat to come rowing in. Yeah.
He's bigger than you though.
So what? What's he gonna do?
All right. I'm texting him right now. Risk it.
Dude, I will
use the elbow.
I will literally chin strap flap him right over my shoulder like the WWE by his beard. Go like this. And do like the flip over straight into a tombstone smash. Done.
Yep.
Risk it's finished.
Yep. Okay.
Put that on your Bobby. Yes. Sorry.
Everyone's asking about this Xbox VR.
Let's talk about it.
It seems very simple, but I think there's more to it. The quote that I wrote down from Mark Zuckerberg. I don't know. This guy's a billionaire, and he did this news announcement holding a lapel mic like this. I'm like, somebody get this guy a production team. Holy smokes. All right, here's what he said. He said, I can see a future where MetaQuest is working with Lenovo Asus ROG, and Xbox. He says, I can see where they get a system where you come out of the box with an Xbox controller and you can play Game Pass games on a big virtual screen wherever you go on the MetaQuest and play games in cloud gaming on the MetaQuest. Now, you can already load up a MetaQuest or a Vision Pro, I think, at this point, and load up a virtual screen and play. Maybe, I don't know. If you, I hate VR. I think there's more to it.
I
than this.
love VR. Okay, all right. Go
this
on.
is where we. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay.
But they're partnering with Xbox to have an actual supported device that will play Xbox games in VR. I don't know.
No, I don't think that's the case. I don't think that this is where I'm going to push back. It's not VR games.
Okay.
VR games requires it requires separate work, right? It doesn't automatically become a 3D world. It requires actual separate development to get that done. But you're absolutely right about what you're saying is basically being able to access Xbox games through the Game Pass or whatever, and being able to play them on the giant virtual screen. Absolutely, I could see that. That'd be interesting, but I don't think that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not it doesn't do anything for me whatsoever. If you want to give me a VR experience that I want to play, give me Halo Infinite in actual VR, where I'm Master Chief. I've got my arm. When I stick my arm out, I could shoot that harpoon or whatever the hell it's called and fire it into somebody, and then I could slam block it to risk it. Anyways, in all seriousness,
it's called the grapple shot. Worst name ever, but that's what it's called.
I love that, and then the punch after, boom.
And by the way, stop giving us the floating gloves. You already built the arms into the game. Give us the arms.
If you play proper VR games, they actually have like full arms.
Okay.
Like some of those games, some of the games actually have like full arms, and it actually makes a major difference.
I just play Massage Simulator, and that one has just the hands.
So that's hilarious. So by the way, it's called wall bouncing. Riskit is right.
Yes, it is. It's called. Thank you.
Now here's
finally
the thing.
Riskit did something that was worth. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. Sorry, I got to put my hat back on because everybody's going blind.
I like the ball. What the heck? I like the.
Dude, people are rocking. People are.
I always tell him. I always tell him like pre-show. He's like, "Let me put my hat on." I'm like, "Bro, what? You look like a hitman." But whatever.
Okay, so now here's the thing. Give me that. Give me Forza Horizon 5 in VR, just like PlayStation did with Gran Turismo 7. Give me Forza Horizon 5 in VR. Give me Halo Infinite in VR. These are old games. You don't have to develop new games. I would buy it.
Why is it so hard? I know in Forza Horizon you can turn the camera. It's like limited how you can turn the camera, but why can't you just slap in a 360-degree turning camera and just do a file save as?
Look, you know what the thing is?
Yeah.
You can go back and put those games that have already come out, and you wouldn't have to develop. I mean, you will have to develop new games eventually. But if you went back and did some of those games, I would buy it.
The problem is VR is
Forza Horizon.
VR almost doesn't sell enough to make up for the push.
Oh, poor piddly Microsoft with the richest company on the planet. I know all that money doesn't go to Xbox. I understand what I mean. But I mean, my God, give us options.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Apple makes all these peripherals. You don't have to buy them, but they make them as the demand requires. You don't have to make 10 million and then they're sitting in a warehouse. You know what I mean? Make a couple of million and see how it goes. And then give people options, to expand your profit margins. I would play Halo Infinite in that. I would play Forza Horizon with that. I would play, Psychonauts wouldn't work in that respect because that's a platform that wouldn't work. But you know what I mean? Games like that. Maybe Fallout. Like a smaller Fallout.
Fallout
experience.
4 has VR. I don't know. It's so divided.
Person, you know what I mean? I would do that. But what they're talking about, that's not what they're talking about. This is not it at all. And then let me tell you something else. I'm going to quote here. I got a quote here from Windows Central. And this is it. And I quote, "Before you get excited, there's no indication that the Xbox-inspired MetaQuest will deliver an augmented reality version of Halo or let you mix reality with your favorite Forza track. Meta highlighted its partnership with Microsoft to bring xCloud gaming to MetaQuest, which allows people to play games on the large virtual screens provided by the headset. That will presumably be a major part of the Xbox connection of the soon-to-be-released MetaQuest inspired by Xbox. So basically, all you're getting is just like if you have, like, if anybody already has a MetaQuest now or a PSVR 2 or any of the PC peripheral VR headsets, basically you're just like, you know, you can watch a movie on like 100-foot screen in VR, or you could, you know what I mean? You'll be able to play their games on that. That's about it. And I think that experience could be okay, but probably a little bit jarring and probably wouldn't translate well to like hand-eye coordination of something of that size. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, a 70-inch screen is just fine. A 60-inch screen, a 50-inch screen. I think that those are beneficial. 40-inch screen are great for like gaming or whatever. I can't see you playing on those gigantic VR things, and you're not getting anything out of it. You're literally just playing the games that you could play on your TV, right? You're just playing it on a bigger screen. Like, to me, it's a nothing burger. That's unfortunately, and like I said, that quote is from Windows Central. If they don't know, who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It seems like maybe Jez might kind of be talking to somebody that would kind of explain things. Dallas Williams says, calm down, Colt. Oh, calm down. I think
that was written, but I mean, if this was written by Windows Central, it's either by I didn't see who actually wrote the article. It's either by Jez or somebody who else works at Windows Central, right?
I didn't see it either.
So that's the quote. I literally screenshotted the quote right out of the article because I read the article.
Oh, okay.
And it was from today, and it's from windowscentral.com.
Jeez. I'm like clicking everywhere and messing up this thing here. I want to announce the winners for the coins. I'm trying to make sure I copy and paste them so I can read them. Here we go. All right. So for the Fallout coins, the winners are BT Maverick 707 and Spartan 661.
Hey.
Email me at colteastwood@gmail.com or DM me on Twitter. If I follow you, you can DM me, but if not, so cheesy.
Hey.
You might not be able to DM me on Twitter because I don't have my DMs open, but to everyone. But you can get a hold of me at colteastwood@gmail to BT Maverick and Spartan 661 for winning the coin and have some proof that it's you somehow. I don't want to sound like a jerk, but I just want to make sure somebody doesn't step on your opportunity. Also, we're giving away 2 Hellblade coins, which we'll be giving out in the week of the shows up until the game releases. The winners are at Dex and at Kirk. Hopefully I have that all there. Kirk Adams, sorry. Email me at colteastwood@gmail.com for the coins. And then I think that's all of the Fallout coins, and I am waiting to get my coin too. So I think I'll get them when I'm able to send them out to everybody. So
beautiful. We
appreciate that. I'm sorry. Risk it for the biscuit if you're still here. He knows that. I'm sure he knows that I'm just messing with him because we are true good friends. And Mag, I hope someday you get to hang out with the guy. He's hilarious.
We will.
Yeah, we will. Watching that guy have cherry Kool-Aid for the first time. He'd never had Kool-Aid. And True 77 goes, Colt takes Social Security number beware.
Diabetes.
We went to this restaurant and he ordered a glass of Kool-Aid. He took one sip. He goes, nope, can't drink it. I was like, seriously? Like I could down a whole pitcher of Kool-Aid and then my teeth would be gone.
Americans like inhale sugar like cocaine now.
Oh yeah.
So it's more of a thing. Yeah, no. Australians and the Canadians, well, okay, we have donuts and stuff, but like, we backed off the sugar. Jeez, even a lot of our beers are now like no sugar. Yeah.
Today I had something called a Rebel, and it's like an Italian soda, like a syrup mix with blended ice and a can of Red Bull.
Oh, Jesus. Trying to kill yourself.
I was like,
sugar and an energy drink. Holy mackerel.
Yeah. And I was like, welcome to the podcast. Hit the like button. Sometimes.
Yeah, I used to. Some of those not so proud moments way back in the day. I was in Newfoundland, and it was like 3:00 in the morning. I was with 2 strippers, and I was fading out, And we weren't doing anything. We were just hanging out. Like, no, we weren't in the strip club. They were two strippers that came to a bar, and then we went to another bar, and it was 3 a.m, and I'm like, girls, I'm getting tired, man. I need to go to bed. And then they bought me vodka Red Bull, and I think I was awake for another day and a half. And I was just like, it was a disaster. I don't even remember flying home. Yeah, what a mess. Yeah, so I, dude, that stuff is poison. It'll kill you, man. Stay away from that stuff.
The Red Bull?
Oh, stay away from that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, back when we were in our 20s, when we'd go dancing and stuff, I would drink a Red Bull, and I always felt like I was drinking gasoline. Risky for the Biscuit said, with an Australian $3, thank you, Risky, says, J-Ron asked us if we wanted VR. Remember, Colt? Jason Ronald. Yeah, I remember we talking about VR.
Yeah,
and most people just
talked
don't.
about it. Remember that? He talked about it, yeah.
Once the games are synonymous, like when the next game comes out, there's a VR version of the same game, then VR takes off. I really think it comes down to, I don't want to play your version of what you think a video game is just because it's right here.
Dude, it's so good, though.
I know. I'm sorry. I just can't make the $800 jump. Angry Hippie, thank you for the 2. What's that?
Yeah. No, nothing. I was just talking to Skillet Will in the chat. I was just saying he's not wrong.
Sappho and Decatron, if you're in the chat, don't forget to message me or email me at colteastwood@gmail.com about those coins you won last week. Angry Hippie, thank you for the 2, says, I can't see Fallout 4 VR being a launch game for it. I can see Fallout 4 VR being a launch game. As far as I know, did they not end up launching the Fallout 4 VR game? I thought it was available. It just never came to Xbox. Like, the Scorpio is supposed to launch with Fallout 4 VR mode, and then Phil's like, I lied. No VR. Yodana Kizada, thank you so much for the $5 super. What if VR adds microtransaction arms, like buying the hairy, meaty arms of Tom Cruise as that character in Tropic Thunder? I feel like it's tailor-made for Mag to reply to.
Oh, God, no, I'm not replying. No, no. I can't say anything. It's a PG show. I had a bunch of things.
We can't talk about Tropic Thunder at this day and age, but
jeez, can you imagine these days? Oh my God, people would have conniptions.
Yeah,
holy meltdowns.
I think Fallout 4's VR version is on PC. Yeah, the meltdowns of talking about that. They don't fly around here no more, law dog. They don't fly.
The crying spaces would be epic. I would love to watch it. Yeah.
So anyway, that's the show, and we really appreciate everybody for being here and helping out and supporting everything we do. Mag, what is the one game you're going to be playing? Then I'll tell you what mine is.
The one game I'm going to be playing?
What's the one?
That is impossible to say. You know why? Because I'm playing 2 right now. I am wrapping up. I should be done in about 2 hours. Not tonight. Not tonight. I got to go to bed. But I need about 2 hours more to get the platinum on Last of Us 2 Remastered. And back, and then I'm just also on my almost done my second run of Resident Evil 5. With the wife, we're playing it on co-op, and we're gonna get the 100% on that. And then I'm going back to Assassin's Creed Mirage and Dying Light 2. That's what I'll be playing for the next couple of weeks. What about you, Colt Eastwood? What will you be playing, my good friend?
Well, I would do the full true ending for Dragon's Dogma 2. Yes. But I hear it's so great, but I kind of fell out of the investment in the game once I kind of got to that end and I don't know, 50 hours, and I was like, I'm kind of done. Yeah. So I'll be playing Fallout 4 like an absolute insane psychopath, and I can't stop. It just, everything feels so great.
Hey man, then enjoy, play,
and I'll be modding and trying to come up with the best mods, and hopefully by Thursday I'll have a video out. The best mods to just have a totally fresh, great new lore-friendly, immersive version of Fallout 4 that makes it feel fresh. Nice. But I don't like the Thomas the Tank Engine stuff or Randy the Macho Man Savage as a Deathclaw. No, none of that crap. Just a great, let's just enhance Fallout 4 to the nines. So we appreciate Riska says, Dragon's Longma. Yeah, very, very long game, but I'm really glad I played it. So
before we sign off, Matt Houston saying you may have missed his super chat. Did you see a Matt Houston super chat?
I did actually see one. Hold on.
Okay, check it out before we dip out.
Hold on, where is?
By the way, Risk It. It's some. I'm going through Risk It. No, I can't find it on mine.
I can find it. Hang on, Matt. Let me grab it from the show thing.
While you're doing that, risk it. Tomb Raider. I bought the entire trilogy for like $15. I think Xbox has it for like 20 or 25 for the gold edition, survival edition. Absolutely worth going back and playing through all three of those games and the DLC. Absolutely incredible. I know you played the first two, but going back for that, and I think PlayStation's got it on sale too, wherever you want to buy it. I bought it. I bought it on both systems.
Did you play Shadow yet?
Yeah, dude, I played all three, but I'm
Okay.
I have one achievement left on Shadow of the Tomb Raider to get the 1,000, and then I'm going back and I'm gonna get the platinums on all of them afterwards because I enjoy them so much. I play them on both systems. So
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Overachiever. Matt Houston,
Love
thank you
it.
for being patient with the $10, the yellow goldenrod super chat. Says, with the Meta Microsoft partnership, it would be cool to see some of the Xbox IPs be used in the MetaQuest first-party titles. Maybe small things like an Arbor Sword and Beat Saber. Yeah, sure. Or Master Chief's Armor and AW2. What's a MetaQuest game that's AW2? Matt, I don't know what that is. Hold on, let me look at the chat. Maybe someone knows. It looks like Alan Wake too, but you wouldn't want Master Chief.
No, there's another game, Arizona something. No, that's Arizona Desert.
Arizona Sunshine is
that's
awesome,
yeah. Sorry,
awesome zombie game.
That's the zombie one.
That's one of the VR games that if I had a VR headset, I'd buy that game first because I hear it's fantastic.
Will go and buy them. They're on sale, man. Survival edition, gold editions for Tomb Raider. No,
he was just
saying that he just said thanks for reminding me he has to finish that series. Please go back and play them, man. They're that good. They are that good. So AW2. What's up, guys? Anybody got it?
Yeah, I'm still looking.
I don't see.
Risk It goes, I hate YouTube super chat autocorrect. It's so aggressive. I think actually the problem is it doesn't, like if you kind of flub a word with your phone or flub something, a key, it will not, it's just horrible. When I write, I'm like, oh my gosh, delete, and forward and delete. Asgard's Wrath 2, Matt Houston says.
Yes. Cyber Gunter, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
But yes, cool. All right, there you go. You got it.
Cyber Gunter says, Mag, you're cool even before all this. Oh, that's awesome.
Thanks, buddy. You rock, man.
I think I got everything. You guys, True 77 says X and C chat is the best chat. All of you are amazing. Thank you for being here. Mag and I are going to call it a night, and we'll be back next week with more crazy fun.
Yes,
more
we will, everybody.
Crazy good times. I think everything else is good. Mag, thanks for everything. It's good to have you back. Feels like everything's back home.
Yeah, all right. It was a great show tonight, folks. We'll see you guys all next week.
All right, later. Where's that button, Mag? Don't say anything crazy. There it is.